COVID, so I'm kind of stuck at home. But luckily, I'm pretty excited to still have the chance to do the live coverage. I'm doing it remote, so I won't have the understanding as much as Julien has of what's going on the finish line. But we'll both be there to cover this 49th edition of Sierre-Zinal. Pretty excited. So if you're joining us, you're seeing the course here in 3D. And I think it's something would be interesting to talk about is how different the distance and the time are on this course. Because if I can remember correctly, when you get to about the halfway point, you're almost 2/3 of the way in time into your race. So that's very specific from this race, because the very start, as you can see on your screen on the profile, is very, very steep all the way up to Ponchette, and therefore runners spend a lot of time but do not cover a lot of ground.
Exactly, Martin. We can split the parkour in 4 parts, with the first part from Sierre to Ponchette, which is very steep and hard climbing. Then it's a little bit more flat, but a wrong flat, if we can say. And then from Chandolin to Vaison, it's pretty flat. And then the last descent from Barneza to Zinal, the last 3 kilometers, which are very, very hard for the legs. But the orientation runners, yeah, exactly.
So a little bit of a word about how to follow us. Obviously, if you found us, you're probably on Facebook or on YouTube. We will have people doing the moderation, both on YouTube and on Facebook. But you can also get involved, and this is very important that you help contribute to that. So first, obviously, if you have comment, if you have any piece of information you would like to share with you, by all means, do this. This is why we have the chat and we want to interact with you. And sadly, as always, there will be spam, there will be trolls. So basically, just ignore them. And the one thing you can actually do to clean that feed is if you go with your mouse over one comment, there's the 3 vertical dots. And if you click on that, you have the option to report and block. So this is what you can do to contribute to getting this chat clean and allow for everyone to have a better experience. So we have on the images the start. And as you can see, it's already very bright, very hot. It's going to be an 11 a.m. start for our competitors. And everybody is slowly but surely warming up, getting ready, staying hydrated, and basically getting ready for another crazy edition.
Exactly, and this 49th edition, Martin, is very special here. It has a special flavor because after 2 years of COVID, we are back to a one-day race where the tourists and the elite runners run together. So it's very special here, and we can feel it here in Zinal. Really, the people are so excited to watch the runners coming here, and it will be a great edition and a great day.
It will be a great edition for sure, and we're absolutely excited about this. So we're speaking in English. We'll try to speak English most of the time. However, as we do in every stage of the Golden Trail World Series, we also speak the local language. So there will be sections in French. Don't worry, this is your opportunity to practice your French, and we'll switch back into English very shortly after. But let's say hello and welcome to our French friends. Voilà, bonjour à tous. Martin Gaffuri et Julien Petit en direct de Sierre-Zinal 49e édition. Alors voilà, comme j'expliquais en anglais, si vous n'avez pas suivi, eh bien on aura beaucoup d'anglais, parce qu'effectivement on est sur une compétition internationale, c'est les Golden Trail World Series. En revanche, comme à l'accoutumée, eh bien on couvre également l'événement un petit peu dans la langue du pays. En l'occurrence ici, on est dans le Valais, Val d'Anivier, et ça parle français, n'est-ce pas Julien? Ah, alors on est en train de discuter avec Julien, donc je vais pas tout de suite le solliciter. Mais voilà, on est au départ de Sierre-Zinal 49e édition, je le répète. On est en bas à Sierre et vous voyez, hein, il fait déjà très chaud, la luminosité est grande et sauf erreur, là c'est Maud Matisse qui s'échauffe gentiment.
Exactement
la favorite chez les femmes. Et voilà des images du Val d'Anivier.
Bonjour à toutes et tous pour les francophones qui nous écoutent. Un petit mot en français aussi. Donc une 49e édition, comme je le disais avant, qui a une saveur particulière puisque après 2 ans de pandémie, on revient à une course sur un jour où les coureurs touristes qui sont partis certains à 5 h du matin finalement pourront voir arriver des élites et ses favoris. Donc voilà, une course vraiment spéciale. On a vu à Sierre, on a vu Maud Matisse qui nous parlait hier entre autres de la chaleur pour dire que voilà, il faut s'habituer, il faut s'adapter et pour elle la chaleur ne pose pas plus de problèmes que tant. Mais voilà, on a la vue donc sur la zone de Sierre où les coureurs sont en train de s'échauffer. Il fait entre environ 26-27 degrés, il fera 26-27 degrés au moment du départ. So in English, we can see the warm-up area just at the start in Sierre. Temperature will be pretty hot, between 26 and 27 degrees. Yeah, it's gonna be hot at the start in Sierre.
Yeah, so we can see as well that right now we have the elite athletes presentation. Yesterday we had a press conference, and obviously the GOAT, Kilian Jornet, who was obviously all eyes are on him. He's here secretly or officially, we don't know if he has announced this yet, but he's for sure coming back for a 10th win. He just scored his 10th win at Zegama earlier this year, and it's for sure coming for his 10th win. So he means business, and it's going to be interesting to see because obviously when he comes here, he's prepared, he's strong. And let's hear the interview.
It's good to have good competence.
And so you were happy to see him get away to start, knowing that you will catch up? Or?
Well, I don't know if I will catch up, and I will try to keep with them. I will try to do my race and to keep. But it's good to see young kids just running well and doing. That's a sport. Is about when I came here first time, I was a young kid beating Mejia and beating these guys, and now to see these guys that they will probably beat me, it's just it's so cool.
And do you think you will race here until you are beaten, or do you think there will come a time when you think, I'm happy, now I retire?
No, retirement, I don't think that word exists. It's just you want to run and you want to race, and it's not about the position, but it's just about having fun around.
Perfect. Well, thank you very much. And now we jump.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
All right, so always interviews with David to get a little bit of insights from our runners, and it's interesting to hear Kilian say that he's planning that some young guns will come and challenge him and potentially beat him. Personally, I have my doubts. But again, anything can happen on the day.
Maud, we're going to try and ask you a question if you can.
There we go.
Welcome back.
Here's another
It's a really simple question
Matisse.
for you. You had an Achilles problem after Zegama. How are you?
Better,
Yeah.
but I didn't run a lot, only 1 time per week,
Yeah.
so it's better. But if I run more, it's not 100%.
Okay.
Yeah, so better.
And are you thinking I will run through pain no matter what tomorrow, or is there a limit?
I think maybe 1 hour after the start, I will feel the Achilles, but it doesn't matter for the race.
So only 1 hour 45 of pain. That's all it is.
Yes,
a short
yes,
movie.
yes.
A short movie of pain. That's all it takes. Good luck, Maud.
Et voilà, et donc je pense qu'on peut parler en français. En plus, on voit le drapeau français qui est à l'écran avec Hassan Chadi, un coureur qu'on verra pour la première fois sur sur Sierre-Zinal avec de grosses prétentions. Hein. Là, c'est 2h09 au marathon, donc ça va très très fort. Donc, juste pour traduire un petit peu ce que Maud racontait, et c'est ce qu'on disait tous les deux avec Julien avant de lancer le live, c'est que la Maud Matisse, elle a été blessée pendant un moment au tendon d'Achille.
Sarah Alonso.
Pour l'interrogation de savoir. Oh là là, mais on a à peine le temps là, c'est encore des interviews. Allez, eh bien, écoutez, on va laisser Sarah Alonso avec David.
Then you win in Mont Blanc and you're thinking, these podiums are pretty tasty.
Yes.
But then Norway.
Not podium. Hey, not two, not bad.
So now, how do you feel coming into this race? Has Norway reduced your confidence?
Not just like I like to do a good and hard training session before a race, but like I was recovering of stand, I don't do it, and it's like, oh, I needed to think in positive, but yes, I think I can do it well. I don't know, the podium always in Sierre-Zinal is really difficult, but my personal goal is trying to do less than 3 hours, but I don't know. We will see.
Last year, 11th. 10 people go up. Which place do you think this year?
Oof, no sé. I would like to do top 5.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Yes, last year I think here was my first important race, and it's super nice to be here again. Will be super hot for me, really hot, more than in Norway.
Yeah.
But okay, we will see. We will join and just run in and push hard every time. Like this year, this race is always like pushing hard all the time, and really excited for tomorrow.
Amazing, thanks, Sarah.
Voilà, donc on a les retours, hein. Donc on va pouvoir traduire à chaque fois en français. J'espère qu'on va avoir suffisamment de temps pour le faire cette fois. Sarah Alonso qui était 9e l'année dernière, c'était sa première grosse course internationale. Depuis, on l'a vu en haut des podiums et elle espère faire un top 5.
And you really struggled with the second half.
Yeah.
This year, I think you're climbing even better.
Yeah, I think I am more prepared this year, and the shape is better than last year, so I will try to push until the end.
And when are you thinking you need to use your strengths?
Of course, I need to do a good uphill, because I know that I am better in the uphill, but then I have still to manage for the last part and keep a bit of energy.
And have you got a place in mind? Because when I think about how you can perform here, you could try and blow up the whole field by flying up that first hill, but risk blowing up as well. And potentially everyone's in trouble, but you might soldier through. Or you could be more conservative, relax the first hill and go for a lower place, but more chance of it. Like, which one is?
Yeah, that's a risk to take, but I will see tomorrow morning if the guys want to go fast at the beginning, and if not, I think I will make the pace that is good for me.
You need to, come on, you say if they want to go fast, you need to make them go fast. Come on, show them your aura. Remy is here. Thanks, Remy. Thanks, Remy.
Right, another quite a funny interview from David. And we also had the pre-race podcast, and we had the chance to hear a little bit about what Remy had in store, and indeed, he has trained a lot.
Who has come second and third.
And Anaïs Sabrier, ladies and gentlemen.
Now, because of your work as a doctor, you've not been able to train with as much focus as previous years. So, how do you know how fast to run tomorrow?
How I do it, I don't know it actually, but I run with my sensation. So if my legs are good, I will run fast, and I hope it will so. But when I think, oh, I am not so good, so I will run with my capacity. I am with my form from my actually form.
And with so many new fast runners, are you aiming for a position in your head, or for a time, or just to feel like you've run well?
I think the less that I run to, I hope that that my translation will not too bad, because when it is a bad day, the race will really long, and I hope that I have a good sensation. And I think when I have good sensation, I will be happy with my race, and at the end, I will don't so look at the time or at the place, but that I will enjoy the race and the supporter here. And yes,
Amazing.
Yes.
Thanks so much, Anais.
All right, so je vais pas essayer de faire une traduction intensive parce qu'on va passer désormais à, j'imagine, une interview de Robbie Simpson du team Adidas Terex qui fait 4 fois.
Robbie, we've got one super question for you, if I can remember.
Course.
Last time you were at 12th at the top of the first hill.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Unbelievable, like flying through the field. From what I can gather so far, a lot of the fast runners who are here, they've all been racing last weekend. They're probably going to go off too fast. So, are you thinking same strategy, backing yourself for that back end?
Well, last time there was a few issues. Like I had a bit of a stitch for a lot of the way, so that was why I was a bit further back, and I didn't feel so good. But then I think it actually helped me feel fresh at the end. So I'll just see. I'd like to not be really far behind, because then mentally, you know, you have to like dig deep to kind of move through. So I'd like to be a little bit closer, but still saving something for the end.
And does this mean that you're trying to think of nutrition to give you a stitch early, just to force you to slow down to get that same kickback?
Yeah, and also just trying to get some drinks in, energy and drinks, because it's going to be hot, so you just want to drink loads, you know, early on. So
come on, Britain! Robbie's our only hope. Come on, Britain!
Voilà, donc effectivement, petit récapitulatif, Robbie Simpson qui avait eu un point de côté sur le début, qu'il avait forcé à être un peu plus loin. Il était
We have got Joyce here.
Et puis derrière, il était
Joyce,
revenu
can we
très,
ask
très
you a
fort.
question? So, this year so far, you have won everything, and then last week you had some troubles. So, before last week you were walking like this, I am undefeated, but now you're like, ooh, but now I lost one. So tomorrow, are you feeling very confident, or are you thinking, ooh?
Talking about tomorrow, yes, I'm also confident with it.
Yeah.
So looking forward for it, it's a long way, but mentally I will try to calculate my calculations well, and my target is to finish and to finish strong. Yeah.
And do you think you will be leading up the first hill?
I can't talk about it for now, but it's my goal also to be maybe with the cabin, and maybe from there I can decide whether to push and where not to push. Yeah.
And this is the first time you race Maud.
Yeah, this is my first time here in Sierre-Zinal.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I feel more happy and excited to race with the other athletes and strong athletes. And tomorrow I hope the race will be okay.
And do you think Maud has won here? She has the course records.
Yeah.
She is very experienced at what speed to run.
Yeah.
Will you be running with her in your mind, or will you be running just you?
Okay, talking about tomorrow, I also include her in my calculations and my racing, but tomorrow I will do my own competition, not minding whether she's there or who is there. I think
nice.
Yeah, also for her, she is also thinking about me, maybe.
Yeah.
But tomorrow I will just race my own race.
Amazing. Well, good luck tomorrow.
Thank
We
you.
will see you around. We head to someone else.
Et voilà, alors qu'on voit que les coureurs commencent à s'aligner sur la ligne de départ, on continue à voir les interviews. Team Scarpa, Petro Mamou, encore un visage familier sur Sierre-Zinal.
We've got Petro! So Petro, in Mont Blanc it was very hot and you started very fast and ran into trouble. So here the field is faster and it is going to be just as hot. So do you think you will start with the front group and go for the win, or do you think you will be more cautious?
Yeah, thank you first, as my friend. Don't plant, I was a little bit tired because I coming there from my country is a little bit far away, traveling. Yeah, I needed almost 2 days, 3 days, but time is for me the short. And I running at the beginning is a little bit fast, but that is wrong for my personality is wrong. So I know that one. So yeah, it's tomorrow also. It's a little bit. It's starting at 11, and it's a little bit hot.
Yeah.
So I wanted to, or my plan is I need I cannot do running and beginning in the fast. I wanted to keep my energy still up to 10 or 12 kilometers.
Okay.
Yeah. Then I wanted to push them more. I hope I can to run with some good the position from the last year.
Yeah.
I hope that one. So because now it will coming a little bit. Is my shape is also it is good. So yeah, I hope because it's tomorrow is the finale. Is all is the athlete is strongest. All people is living here. So I am sure because it's tomorrow it will be some when he wins the some guy he was by some few the second here. I am sure the record.
I think there could be a record.
So I hope all the guys, all the athletes, all the people. I wanted to say this good luck,
and good luck to you, Petro.
Thank you.
May we have you on the podium again?
I hope.
I hope.
Et voilà, donc quelques mots d'encouragement de Petro Mamou.
Petro Mamou qui a d'ailleurs terminé troisième à Thion-d'Ixence la semaine dernière, victoire de Patrick Kipengo, et puis Petro qui a fini troisième. Il a expliqué qu'il était aussi un petit peu fatigué suite à un petit retard dans son voyage, mais on peut l'attendre avec sûreté aujourd'hui, c'est sûr, il sera bien placé.
Absolument, absolument, et c'est intéressant aussi de voir tout le monde parler de la chaleur. La chaleur, les gens pas partir trop vite visiblement.
And the start in 8 minutes. The runners are getting ready.
Yeah, we can see that in green t-shirt, Team SIDAS metrics. There's a bunch of them, including Anaïs Sabrier, who's been shining on these races as per usual. Right there yet.
And Martin, maybe just a word about Rémi Bonnet, because yesterday at the press conference we had a chance to talk with him, and he was saying that will be a dream to win in the same year the Patrouille des Glaciers in winter and Sierre-Zinal. There are the two main races in the Valley region, and that will be unbelievable for him to get the doublé, if we can say.
True. That's very true. This would be a massive pride. And again, in the pre-race podcast that we had before Sierre-Zinal, we had a chat with Rémi. He said, I asked him, okay, are you more a ski mountaineering athlete or a trail runner? And he said, like, I'm actually both, and this is my balance, and this is something that I find it healthy for the body and for the mind. And so I am not one or the other. I am definitely both. So we can understand that it would be equally meaningful to him to win both Patrouille des Glaciers and Sierre-Zinal in the same year. So here we get.
And what's your What's your opinion about Sarah Alonso? Because she's doing a wonderful start of season, but what do you think about her for today's race?
For today's race, I think she has the potential to do a top 5. She's shown that she has the engine to last over the marathon distance, both at Zegama, where she finished 3rd, and at Mont Blanc Marathon, where she won. Now she's been doing a shorter race last weekend in Norway, which was way more technical, and she suffered a little bit. She took a few falls as well, so hopefully she's fully recovered. There's been a lot of travel, so it's a bit the unknown because she is not as fresh as she was at the beginning of the season, which is also the case for most runners, to be honest. But I still believe she can do really well. Against Maud, that's going to be a challenge for sure, but we've just heard that Maud was a bit struggling with her Achilles, so that could set her back as well. So I think the battle is going to be between Anaïs Sabrier as well, who always comes really trained, and She mentioned in the interview that she wasn't as trained as she used to because of work. And personally, I believe that's potentially a good thing because she'll be more fresh, because you really need to be fresh for this race, because it's essentially all out from start to finish, or close to that. And as we see the course on the right, we see people lining up, and I've just seen Rémi Bonnet in white, so let's remember that in case we need to identify him later. Robbie Simpson, see, I think it's pretty smart what he's doing right now because of the heat. He's got a bandana around the neck, whether he's going to keep it for the whole race or chuck it after a bit. I don't know, but keeping cool is definitely going to be the name of the game. You do not want to overheat. So white cap, white bandana. I think this is a very smart move from Robbie. Next to him, Elouzine El Azaoui, who's also very strong in the climbs. Hopefully he won't suffer from the heat too much, because he's had issues in the past with hydration and nutrition. And on a hot day means you need to hydrate a bit more. So hopefully he will be okay with that.
Another point, Martin, is that men and women start at the same time. Last year, the women start before, so maybe it can have an influence on the race.
Yes, absolutely. That's a very good point to mention. Last year, they started 15 minutes ahead of the men's, and that's why Maud Matisse, the winner of last year's edition, actually was the first person to cross the finish line, and Kilian, who won in the men's category, finished only seconds behind her. This won't happen again this year. Obviously, the men's will run faster. However, I think you're absolutely right, because then the ladies will be able to be pulled in with the men's and potentially use that to to their advantage and potentially score faster times. Because this was the configuration in 2019, and this is when both male and female records were broken. All right, and we are 2 minutes to starts, ladies and gentlemen. 11 a.m. start here. We are at the bottom of the valley in Sierre, getting ready for this 49th edition of Sierre-Zinal. And if you're joining us right now, I am Martin Gaffuri, your host, and my co-host, like last year, Julien Petit, who I am really excited to hear all about the Val d'Anivier, the summits all across this race, and obviously share this race with you all.
Exactement, un petit mot en français, hein. Bonjour à toutes et tous. Magnifique édition qui s'annonce, la course qui va démarrer d'ici 2 minutes. On s'attend vraiment à du beau spectacle. En tout cas ici, la foule est déjà présente, vraiment avec une ambiance de feu. Ça va être magique.
Oui, ça va être magique, ça va être incroyable. Et puis là, si on reparle un peu en français, eh ben, il y a beaucoup de noms qu'on n'a pas eu vraiment l'occasion de mentionner, mais qui méritent d'être là, parce que on a par exemple un Sylvain Cachard qui fait champion d'Europe de course en montagne. Donc forcément, il y a du gros niveau. Alors on ne sait pas à quel point il a pu se préparer pour cette course. Maximilien Drillon aussi, le champion d'Europe de trail, là cette année, le Belge. On a vraiment.
C'est le local de l'étape, hein. C'est Maximilien Drillon qui habite à Vercorin, donc juste à côté du Val d'Anivier. Voilà le départ qui va être donné.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, only few seconds from the start of the 49th edition of Sierre-Zinal. I hope you're excited. We sure are, and we will be covering this race live, both in French and English. You can interact with us on YouTube. Okay, I'm just going to shut up so you can hear the sound from the start. And there we go. They're off. Ladies and gentlemen,
there we go.
These runners, they will cover 31 kilometers and 2,200 meters of climb, 1,100 meters of descent. This is a point-to-point race. If you are not familiar with this course, and you see them going around and then straight up. That's why they are going pretty fast, because at the beginning it's kind of a bottleneck, and so you do want to make sure you're in the front so you don't get stuck. And another
there will be
also
there will be 1 kilometer road. Then they will start the uphill. Yeah.
So that's slightly different from last year, because last year they were branching straight into a single track. But okay, you're right. So that is not exactly meter for meter the same course as last year, and so I don't think this is going to influence too much. Yeah, you can tell us about this.
Yeah, that's the official course. So last year they took the other way. And that's why Maud has beaten the record last year, but it was unofficial because it's not the same course. So here, this year, they take the official course again, starting with this 1 kilometer road on road.
Yeah, and so this will that first kilometer will certainly favor all the fast mountain runners, the fast road runners. And I'm thinking about the French runner, Hassan Shadi, who's worth 2:09 on the marathon, and he's coming here to Sierre-Zinal, not fully prepared for it. That's not his goal, but slowly but surely he likes to challenge himself and go in for new experiences. And so it will be interesting to see how he goes. I can also picture a name we haven't dropped yet, but that is meaningful. Fred Tranchant from Scott Running is here in the lead pack with a kind of a white and black T-shirt. He's been second in 2020 when it was the COVID year. He ran alone. He wasn't part of the elite race, and so Killian had won that elite race. There were only a few runners invited. Rémi Bonnet was second in that race. However, Fred had scored the second best time and was therefore second that year. Then last year he ran and he actually didn't have as good as a race, but he's definitely back with an intention. He was fourth just last week at the third stage of the Golden Trail World Series in Norway, and he surely means business.
Ouais, aussi ce petit mot en français hein, pour expliquer qu'en fait la course de l'année dernière donc passée par la chapelle Saint-Antoine qui n'est pas nécessairement le parcours officiel pour les élites, et Maud Matisse qui avait d'ailleurs battu son record de 2h49 en 2h46, mais c'était un record qui n'était pas officiel l'année dernière. Donc là vraiment on part sur ce premier tronçon avec 1 kilomètre sur la route, et puis ensuite ils vont commencer la montée. Ouais.
And yeah, there's a lot of people with us. So we have a bit of a replay of the start. That's the second wave, because there's going to be several waves for this race.
Yeah.
As Julien mentioned, this is the first time since COVID that we have a mass start with all the participants. And so how many participants do we have this year altogether on the day, Julien?
Yeah, totally we have 6,100 runners, and you have like 2,300 elite runners, like they start now, so that's why we have several waves.
Yeah, there we go. And in the meantime, on the left side of your screen, we have the elite athletes leaving the road and starting to get into the single track. You see the gradient gets way steeper, and that's where I say really, truly the race starts, and we'll have camera runners running just ahead of them, and we'll start to see like who has decided to take on the race and start leading. I think Rémi was pretty adamant that if the pace going up the hill was not fast enough for him, he was going to run his own pace. So I'm actually quite eager to see who is in the front. And then, yes, obviously, if you are on YouTube, We are also reading all your comments. We have obviously also community managers who are here to make sure they answer all your questions. They will answer with the official Gold Trail Series handle. And you actually have two. You have Michael Mussard, who will answer to you in probably French and English. And in Spanish, it's our good friend Albert Jorquera. So again, if you have a lot of questions, by all means, ask them in the chat. If we don't read it and if you don't answer them ourselves, Julien and myself, will definitely read them. But you have a very good team in charge of all that who will look after your questions as well. And yeah, no, to answer and confirm what Robin is saying, John Albon has decided not to come. He was first in Norway. He was first at Mont Blanc Marathon, so you could think that he's wanting to have another strong finish in the Gold Trail World Series. But currently, he's focusing on CCC, and therefore had decided to skip Sierre-Zinal. Yeah, so if you're joining us today, the race has already started. You see at the bottom right corner of your screen, 6.5 minutes ago. It's just that, again, because we have all the participants running on the day this year again, we have several waves to get all these runners on the course and make sure there's not too much kind of bottleneck and people on the trail at the same time. We want everybody to get a SDS for community manager as well. He's also just sharing all the information. So thanks a lot, Robin. Indeed, Sophia. It's Sophia Laukley. Sadly, I was really looking forward to seeing her race here in Sierre-Zinal. She was extremely strong in Norway. Sadly, she got COVID as well. There's quite a few of us who actually had it. And she will not, sadly, be racing today.
Martin, maybe just something on the number of participants. As I told, there are 6,100 participants today, and this is possible because we moved the race from Sunday to Saturday, and that gives more time for participants to take part to Sierre-Zinal. That's why we have done more waves for the runners now. Yeah.
Oh, perfect. That is good. That is good. And see, I mean, when you think about Sierre-Zinal, it's like the crazy race, the meeting between trail running, mountain running, and yet now we even see road running. But this is also like a very open race, a very inclusive race for all the participants from elite to recreationals, and the race directors most certainly care a lot about the ones we call in French the populaire, the recreational runners, and I think this is a very good move indeed to move the race from the Sunday to the Saturday to make it more available, easier access. And better to organize a weekend around it for all the recreational runners who potentially have to go back to a job on the Monday. So yeah, it is a really good move from the organizers that we can definitely salute for putting together an event that is, again, very inclusive from the last to the first runners.
Franchement, je pense que Maud, elle est quand même. Elle est là, elle dit qu'elle a des problèmes au tendon d'Achille et tout, mais elle reste quand même supérieure selon moi.
So while this second wave is about to get started, we can talk a little more again about the course, which is very, very unusual. Because again, if you weren't here with us at the very beginning of this live coverage, there is a bit of a difference between the distance and the time, and this is very specific from Sierre-Zinal. When you are about like 16 kilometers into the race, which is about halfway, you're actually way past halfway in time. So you have to account for this when when you want to pace yourself in terms of effort, but also in terms of nutrition and hydration. And this is, ladies and gentlemen, the second wave of the 49th edition of Sierre-Zinal. with more runners that are going to try and conquer that hill, that crazy uphill, 31 kilometers, 2,200 meters of gain and 1,100 meters of descent. So we're trying to get an update to see what's happening because usually on the field we are expecting to see we're expecting to see the images from the first runners now, but if we're not, there must be some technical problem. So we'll keep you updated as much as we can. And again, if you have, we try to have multiple sources from all over the place. I'm going to try and check the data we get from the field.
Ouais, également pour ceux qui nous écoutent en français. Donc là, c'est la deuxième vague de départ, puisque cette année, le record de participation à Sierre-Zinal a été battu avec 6100 participants. Donc vraiment un record. Ce record a été rendu possible puisque la course est passée du dimanche au samedi, ce qui a donné donc la chance à plus de coureurs de prendre part à cette course. Et voilà, donc on est actuellement sur les deuxièmes départs, des départs de 11 heures. Et pour l'instant, on attend encore des images du terrain. Il y a eu un petit problème technique avec le premier relayeur. On attend des informations et des images du terrain. Ça ne devrait pas trop tarder, on en est sûr.
Voilà, effectivement, hein, on a tout un setup avec des coureurs qui sont répartis un peu partout sur le parcours. On a des caméras runners, qui sont des coureurs avec le sac à dos et puis une GoPro et qui retransmettent les images à notre régie. La régie nous retransmet les images à nous, les commentateurs. On commente et ensuite les images sont renvoyées vers vous via YouTube ou Facebook. Donc vous voyez, c'est quand même un gros dispositif. Et il semblerait que pour le premier relais, le premier coureur, malheureusement, eh bien, il semble qu'on ait perdu la connexion. Donc, il est là. Hein, on n'avait pas omis de mettre du monde sur ce début de parcours. Mais on vient d'avoir l'information. Le prochain caméra runner est en fait en train de redescendre. Et ça y est, on récupère les images, mesdames et messieurs. Et on va essayer d'identifier un petit peu. Alors voilà, il y a sûrement dû avoir des problèmes de connexion quand vous voyez ce genre d'image à l'écran.
Bon, Jérôme, avant de revenir catégoriquement sur le populaire, on va parler des hommes. Son pronostic, le podium, allez, lance-toi. Dans les hommes, moi j'aimerais bien voir Rémi Bonnet. Ah, il rêve.
There we go. So we're with the beginning of the race. We have a bit of flickering here, so we try to get that sorted. So that's why we're not putting it in the full screen, just to make sure make sure no issue with epileptic friends. And okay, I can recognize here our runners. And okay, so we've got 3 Kenyans, including I'll try to find the winner of Tour d'Ixence this year, Kylian Jornet shortly behind, and as expected, Rémi Bonnet as well. So we have a group of 4 runners who seem to be leading the field. And look at this gradient is insane. I tell you what, not a whole lot of people are capable of running on that kind of gradient. And I even suspect that our camera runner is power hiking up that hill, because not only he has to aim with the camera, but he also has a backpack that is about 4 to 5 kilograms to carry with him.
Yeah, actually, it's a group of 5 runners, I guess, and we can see Kylian, Remy. If we remember last year, they did the first part of the years together, Martin.
Very true, very true. They were together, and then shortly after, Petromamou caught up with them, and then it was a 3-man's lead pack at the time, all the way until Kylian decided to put an attack, and then nobody could respond. Remy was the first to drop, and actually he must have suffered a little bit from that very fast start at the beginning, because then he fell back a little and finished 9th. But Petro Mamou, who had caught up with them and lasted a little longer with Kylian, actually dropped completely and finished 30th last year. So it shows that if you're just going a little bit too far ahead, a little bit too far in the red zone early on, you will pay the price big time later on. And yeah, from team Run Together in this group of 5, I believe, and you can correct me if I'm wrong here on the chat, but I think this is Patrick Keep and Go. Together with Rémi Bonnet, Kylian Jornet, and another 2 Kenyans that I failed to recognize with the flickering of the images. And we have now images of the 3rd wave. So we'll wait a little bit. There's probably still some technical issues to sort out, but we are with you. We are well into the race now. And okay, our runner must have dropped back a little. I see Elouzine El Azaoui from the back. I'm trying to lean over my screen to see what's happening there. And also Francesco, I believe, is there. There are just so many.
We will get the first information about the time in Borga. In 2019, when Kylian did the record, he passed through Borga in 20 minutes and 28 seconds. So yeah, they will come there in about 3 minutes, I guess, 3-4 minutes. So we'll get some info from Borga, I guess.
Yeah, and we'll start getting a bit of a feel of the pace they've gone at, and whether it is a fast pace or not a fast pace. So there we go. Now the field is a bit stretched, a bit more stretched out. Got 2 runners from Terex. I missed quite a few of them. Let's see if we can have our first ladies. No, not quite yet. This is indeed Philemon Keriago, but I still believe. Thanks for the number 153. But I still believe that with the team Run Together, that we had the winner of Tour d'Ixence this year, Patrick Kipengeno.
C'est toujours compliqué sur le live, mais on demande rendez-vous pour prendre quelques minutes. Quand on arrivera du côté de Borga, le réseau devrait faire son retour pour que Borga est prochaine.
Exactement. Alors là, on a des images sur Sierre, la ligne de départ, dernier bloc qui va se lancer à l'instant. Troisième et dernier bloc des élites.
Bon, du coup, nous n'avons toujours pas des images. On attend encore impatiemment. Voilà, je pense que c'est le caméra runner dont on vous parlait qui, lui, semble ne pas avoir de problème technique, qui redescend pour aller chercher les coureurs, pour aller rechercher la tête de course et vous offrir de nouveau des images pour qu'on puisse suivre cette course en direct avec vous tous.
Après, il faut quand même le dire, c'est un exploit de pouvoir tourner des images dans ces conditions, dans cette montée qui est franchement importante. Donc, quand même, bravo à toutes les équipes de production. Et voilà, là, on est de retour sur la tête de la course. We are back on the head of the race.
Yes, exactly. We have the leaders. So that was our second camera runner planned in the filming, in the covering, who actually ran down because he's been informed of that technical issue. So he ran down to catch the leaders a little bit earlier, and what now we have the leaders. So again, we're just a little far to picture all the bib numbers because we're still missing, I think, one name from these top 5 runners. I repeat, we have Rémi Bonnet, Kylian Jornet together, and Patrick Kipengeno, who was the winner of Tour d'Ixence. We keep repeating this because this is a very good reference here, and it was just last weekend, so it is a very good indicator of the fitness of these runners. And then apparently number 153.
Ça vaut la peine, mais comment est-ce qu'on participe à ce concours?
En fait, il faut être présent sous la tente et il faut avoir couru Sierre-Zinal parce que oui, on va quand même pas récompenser les personnes qui sont dans une voiture.
Ah non, présent avec son dossard.
Exactement, on récompense les grands malades de cette journée, tous les coureurs qui ont emballé les 31 km. 4 personnes seront récompensées sous la tente, 18h30.
Ah, 18h30, oui, on sera là, on sera là.
There we go.
Voilà.
First drilling station for these runners. Yeah. Go ahead.
Exactly. That's Borgard. So we can see that the runners were in Borgard in 21:30 seconds. So about 1 minute behind the record of Kylian in 2019.
Yes. So but don't believe this is a slow pace because in 2019 he was actually 7 minutes ahead of second place at the time, Petro Mamou, because Kylian had realized after talking with the record holder at the time, Jonathan Wyatt, that he needed to go all out right from the start. Jono was like, you guys, this record is actually not hard to beat, but you have to stop looking at each other in that whole first climb. You just have to go for it. And so that's what Kylian had done, and he had done an incredible first 7 kilometers up to Ponchette, and he was way ahead of second place. So the fact that they're actually 1 minute behind is actually quite impressive still, I believe. And this is, I think, Julie Roux from France here in the women's, and then ahead of her another runner. No, I believe Anaïs Sabrier will be with the team SIDAS Matrix, and she will be probably, if the color is the same as the men's, and with a green t-shirt. And it's Marc Kangogo, number 14, who is together in the top 5 lead with Rémi Bonnet and Kylian Jornet, along with Philemon Kiriago, indeed, number 153, and to complete this top 5 is number 35, Patrick Kipengeno. And this is our lead group now, and I think as I speak about him, Patrick Kipengeno is now... Oh no, that's another runner from Team Run Together. So he, from the same team, who is actually catching up. And this is not going to be a group of 6 runners together in that first climb. Wow, that's exciting because we usually by this point start to see only a few runners together. But now there are 6, and you can see the dust because it hasn't rained forever. I think pretty much everywhere in Europe we've had heat waves after heat waves, and so you can see the dust coming off the ground, so hopefully the runners behind won't be too impacted by this, and these runners are still moving extremely strong here on a gradient that is one of the steepest of the whole course.
Exactement, peut-être le dire aussi en français, Martin, parce que c'est une très bonne remarque, hein. C'est vrai qu'il y a eu très peu de pluie cet été et aussi ces derniers temps, ce qui fait qu'on voit c'est très poussiéreux et ça c'est vraiment des conditions qui sont comme ça depuis maintenant quelques temps. On a eu très peu de pluie ici également avec de grosses vagues de chaleur. Très très bonne remarque, ouais.
There we go, and as we drop down into the field, so we have several camera runners, and we're expecting to see the top woman, and you can hear our camera runners. And huffing and puffing because it's just so hard to keep up with these elite athletes on this climb. You can see them pulling away now because, again, since we had a technical problem with our first camera runner, this second camera runner had to run down. So I already start his effort to catch up with the lead group. And so now we had the first 6 runners who have gone through, and now we are expecting, and I believe this is Petro Mamou that we see in the distance coming in the chasing pack. Yeah, Petro Mamou from Team Scarpa, he said he didn't want to go too hard at the start because of the heat, because of the temperature. And so if this is truly what he sticks to, then this is a well-executed race so far.
Petro Mamou, who has won Sierre-Zinal, that was in 2016, and he was third in Thionville last week. Yeah.
Yes, and Robert Pengboy, we have seen quite a lot on the Gold Trail World Series. In very good position here, breaking the top 10. Oyana Cortazar here in the women's race, powering through the field. Very, very strong runner that we always have the pleasure to see on the race. And look at this. See, this is something we always see, even more so in ultras. Women starting at a more conservative pace, but then starting to creep up on the men's. This is the case here as well in Sierre-Zinal. Oyana Cortazar here showing a very good pace, alternating between hiking and running. And here again, we're with Robert Penboy and Petro Mamou, and behind, who's that? That's Orsan. I was expecting from the same team Robbie Simpson, also from Team Terex, but no, this is Ursan, who's been doing really well last year, and I think not a whole lot of people have talked about him, but I really believe he can do also very well, and he shows that is here. Daniel Orsan, number 37, and so I hope that we'll see his team partner Robbie Simpson not too far back, and I believe he is not too far back indeed, with his cap, I think only 2 spots behind, so right where he needs to be. I'm curious to see who was with the red shorts just behind this runner, so we'll try to figure that out very shortly. There you go, Robbie Simpson looks in control. He knows what he's doing, together with Elouzine El Azaoui as well. Very strong climber, and it's incredible to see like such strong climbers be already potentially like 30 seconds to a minute back from the lead of the race. It shows how hard this lead pack has taken the course, has gone, and we'll see if they can keep up with that pace. And you see again all the dust. Cesare Maestri now here on the screen as well. All the usual suspects are here to try and steal the show. And we've seen both Robbie Simpson and Cesare Maestri, who were not in the top 10, even all the way to Ponchette, and then slowly and gradually made their way through the more runnable, even though still uphill part of the course, and then in the downhill, reel everybody in, and it managed to sneak for second and third place. Robbie Simpson ended up second, and he was only 41 seconds away. Here we got Sylvain Cachard, European champion of mountain running this year. He said he wasn't feeling 100% for this race, but he's here, and the young runner has, we've seen it this season, has a lot of potential, and I believe he can do also very, very well. So maybe he's pacing himself a little bit, and we'll try to see in the comments here on Facebook as well, because I'm sure you also seen a lot of runners potentially recognized more than the ones I have been able to recognize.
Sierre-Zinal, à vous. rejoignez à l'instant, bienvenue à ces coureurs. Ce matin, on l'a dit tout à l'heure, ils ont gardé le sourire et ils sont montés ici jusqu'à Zinal. Et ils arrivent, ils sont pas plus...
Et voilà, on peut peut-être faire une petite update en français sur nos premiers hommes. Donc on a dans le groupe de tête 6 coureurs désormais. Ceux qu'on attendait, Rémi Bonnet, Kylian Jornet, et on a également Philemon Kiriago. On a 3 Kenyans, maintenant peut-être même 4. On a Patrick Kipengeno du team Run Together qui a remporté Thion Dixence le week-end dernier. Et il m'en manque encore un nom, mais on les a bientôt. Voilà, c'est Marc Kangogo, numéro 14, également en Kenyan. Et j'ai l'impression qu'il y avait, tout à l'heure sur les images, on l'a vu, une 6e personne rejoindre ce groupe de tête, également du team Run Together, mais j'avais pas le nom. Alors là, voilà, est-ce qu'on a des images? Oui, effectivement, Anaïs Sabrier, qui est peut-être... parce qu'on n'a encore pas vu Maud Matisse sur les images, donc j'espère qu'on ne l'a pas loupé. Mais ici, Anaïs Sabrier du team SIDAS Matrix, ouais. Qui avance. Voilà, la française.
Ouais, Anaïs, dans son interview
voilà,
d'avant-course, on l'a entendu avant, qui expliquait que voilà, la préparation était plus compliquée pour elle, car maintenant elle travaille à 100% et elle trouve des plages d'entraînement en dehors, donc elle rentabilise ses week-ends un maximum. Mais on peut compter sur elle aujourd'hui. Elle sera parmi les femmes de tête. Si ça se trouve, elle est même en tête. C'est vrai qu'on n'a pas vu Maud Matisse encore. On n'a pas eu d'image d'elle.
Voilà, donc est-ce que Maud se réserve ou est-ce qu'elle est partie, elle est passée à travers le cadre de notre caméra runner? Mais voyez là, Anaïs Sabrier qui effectivement sera peut-être un peu plus fraîche qu'à l'accoutumée, on l'espère. En tout cas, on attend qu'une chose, c'est qu'il y ait une belle battle entre toutes ces féminines. Et voilà, on entend le public qui est bien présent aussi sur tout ce parcours de Sierre-Zinal.
Ouais, le public qui sera amassé aussi, qui s'amasse aux endroits de ravitaillement. On pense notamment à Chandolin, ce village qui est situé au-dessus des 2000 mètres. Et là, vraiment, il y a toujours beaucoup de monde qui s'attroupe à cet endroit-là. On pense aussi évidemment à Tinyusa. D'ailleurs, la nouveauté cette année, c'est qu'il y a un sprint de 100 mètres à Tinyusa avec en fait, une remise des prix qui sera donnée au vainqueur de ce sprint. Donc, un petit peu comme le maillot vert qu'on peut avoir au Tour de France, on a le sprint à Tinyusa, c'est une des nouveautés cette année. Et puis les autres évidemment points mythiques de la course avec l'hôtel Weisshorn et puis ensuite les pointes de Nava et on descend sur Zinal.
So that's interesting to mention. I don't know if there's going to be a lot of elite athletes who will try and go for this sprint, but this year there is a sprint segment on the course shortly after Chandolin. Julien was telling us all about it, and I think here from Team Adidas Terex, is that Victoria? I'm completely guessing here. We'll probably try and wait for the bib number unless somebody on the YouTube chat has this information, then he can share it with us. And thank you to again all the camera runners who are out there eating dust and trying to keep up with our runners. It is not an easy feat for sure, and we're super excited at least to have you also with us. And like in Norway, you guys were following from all over the place. So here on YouTube, if you can let us know from which country you're following, and obviously if you're, I believe you will be supporting your country, but which country also you guys are supporting That would be super cool to see where you guys are following from. And yeah, that does look like Victoria Kreutzer from Team Adidas TRX. I hope I am not saying this wrong. Everybody is breathing pretty hard, so we're still trying to figure out whether this is the women's leader here on your screen, or if we have missed Maud Matisse, but we will try to get the updates. And there we go. We get everybody now sharing all their countries. You got Morocco, Uzbekistan, Macedonia, Japan, India, Norway, Sweden, New Zealand. Go Kiwis! Scotland. Yeah, we've got everyone. Obviously, a lot of Italians, Romania. Francesco Pupone. That's I didn't know this nickname. The UK, Luxembourg, Tahiti. We've got everything. Thank you so much. So stoked to have everyone here on this live with us from the Philippines, Romania, Poland. Yeah, we've got everything. Hong Kong as well. India, England, obviously, Poland. Woo! We've got everyone. This is awesome. Thank you so much. And then again, thank you for following this race, because if it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be doing it. So here, I'm still struggling to see the bib number here. I think it starts with the 2, and hopefully I can give you. Oh, we're getting on the flatter section here. It's getting way faster all of a sudden. So we'll see our camera runner try to maybe reel in a lot of some of the runners.
And just before Ponchette, we will be able to see the whole Imperial Crown with the 5 peaks, the 4,000 meter peaks. Do you surely know the names of the peaks, Martin?
No, we have you all. This is, I believe, just here on the screen coming through is Manuel Merias, who was second in Norway, and he decided therefore to come to this race because he had a solid 4th place. I believe, was it 4th? No, 3rd place. 3rd place in Zegama, so he wanted to score more points. And that's why he came to Sierre-Zinal. Sorry, now I will try to answer your question, and the answer is definitely no. I do not have all the names of all the 4,000 peaks that overlook this beautiful course. But that's why we have you, and that's why I'm going to leave you the floor. Please educate us.
Thank you, Martin. Now we have the Weisshorn, the Matterhorn, the Dent Blanche, the Zinal Roton, and the Obergabelhorn, and the 5 peaks will give a lot of power to the runners, I hope. So for next year, you surely know the peaks, and you will remember it, I guess.
I will try to. And so we have now more runners going past our camera runner here. And this is our friend Andy Walker from the US.
And we have an update from our team in the field. And Maud Matisse is leading the female race, actually. We didn't see Maud at the screen, but what we heard and what we have kind of update is that Maud Matisse is leading the race.
Ok, so, mesdames et messieurs, là, voilà, on vient d'avoir l'information de la part des équipes terrain. Maud Matisse est bien en première place de cette course pour l'instant. Il semblerait qu'elle soit même, d'après ce qu'on nous dit, elle soit partie pour essayer de battre le record. En tout cas, elle est partie sur des gros rythmes. Et donc c'est pour ça qu'on n'a pas pu la voir à l'image lorsqu'elle est passée. Donc on l'a loupée.
Maud Matisse première et Joyce Njeru deuxième. Joyce Njeru is second, and yeah, Maud Matisse has started with a strong rhythm. So Maud Matisse first and Joyce Njeru second.
Yeah, and we had on the images the American Kimber Mattox, who has also a very good potential to enter the top 10 in this race. She's quite a strong runner here. She was also in Norway.
Je ne me rappelle plus exactement le temps de David Béli, par exemple la coach d'Allier, sur les 10, 5 et 40 et quelques, et puis là on a Stéphane Ganzel, président de la commune d'en face, pour la commune de la Noble Contenay, 5, 40, 34.
And we just got the update. It's Rebecca Cheptegei qui est en 3e position. She's in 3rd, Rebecca Cheptegei. So we're trying to give you a bit more updates from the field as we continue filming the men's going through. There you go, our camera runner is still trying to keep up. So basically what happens is that after they follow the top men, they drop back a little and they have to shift gear to start running again to keep up with the women's.
Troisième junior, il est bientôt là. Il vient également de Grande-Bretagne, numéro 2003. Avec son dossard 745, parti à 10h15 de Chandelan. Après 19 km, il est dans la dernière descente ici à Zinal.
Il est là, la zone d'arrivée. Allez, faites du bruit pour le 3e, Edouard Cohen.
All right, we're catching up with more female runners here. You can see how bent over they are. The slope is just so steep. It's quite impossible to run, and therefore you bend over, you power hike, use a different muscle chain, and therefore when you transition back into running, you have a little bit more fresh. So here, Oyana Cortazar, who's being passed. I do not have the name of the runner as well. Next year, we should definitely think about putting the bib numbers at the back. That will be much easier for us to give you the name of all these top athletes. And look at this, only a few meters ahead, and it's almost the same amount of vertical at the same time from our camera runner who's now filming from front. So Oyana Cortazar. And again, if you're joining us, this is not the lead female. We had information again that in the women's, the top female was Maud Matisse, who had gone for it. And now on this more runnable section. This is Alexandra Schmidt from Switzerland. There we go. We're starting to get the numbers right. Running for SALOMON Switzerland. So surely she has been on the course. She knows how to pace it. She knows how to do it right. We're still missing quite a few familiar faces here.
Yeah, Martin, I got the time of Maudine Bourgard, and she was in 24 minutes and 40 seconds. Actually, exactly the same as when she did the record in 2019. Exactly the same time.
Wow! So we are on course record time for Maud Matisse, and here Mathilde Sagne from France is also making her way up the course. So interesting information. Thanks for sharing indeed. So Maud Matisse, despite her Achilles, she is on course record time. So perhaps, as she was explaining to David in the interview yesterday, she knows that the first hour she should be okay and should experience too much pain. So maybe she's trying to open up a gap and put herself in the safe and pull away from her competition. So even if she has to slow down a little bit or suffer from her Achilles later on, she won't be too far ahead and she won't be able to be caught. And it seems, this is my guess here, that this is the lead man. There we go. So the lead pack has been blown away, and this is now a Kenyan who is leading the 49th edition of Sierre-Zinal. And is that Philemon Kariago, or I believe maybe Mark Kongogo, because this blue outfit is not the team Run Together. There we go, that's team Run Together, and that would therefore mean, sorry, I'm trying to juggle a little bit between all the files, that Patrick Kipengeno is in second place, trying to keep up. So you see here, it's a little bit of a runnable section, not as steep, but still uphill. And these two Kenyans have now pulled away. We have first and second runners so far who are getting on so great. And so they are not in Ponchette yet. We will know when they get to this place, because the e-mountain bikes will take over, and it will be more in the open. They will come out of the forest a little bit, and so now it's going downhill a little bit, so we can expect Kilian to potentially get back a little bit closer to the front runners, and potentially so will Remy as well. But so far, ladies and gentlemen, first and second runner here on your images. This is not anymore a lead pack. They've blown up the field and pulled away, I'd say like 30 meters, and we have no idea what's happening just behind. So as soon as we get images from that, we'll know who is in third, fourth, fifth, and sixth place. Oh, that's going to be tough for a mountain biker. There we go. you gotta go on one wheel, and there we go. Back, and we were telling you about Ponchette. This is it. They're coming around the corner, and we'll see the little chalets typical of Ponchette, of the area. We might have drone footage as well of these runners. There you go.
Exactly, Martin. We can see the Ponchette, and yeah, that's the second ravitaillement here in Ponchette. Yeah.
Second aid station, refreshment place.
Exactly.
On the course, there's six areas on this course where runners will be able to get food and drinks.
And here from Ponchette, we will then go on a more flatter segments.
Yeah, and it's incredible how fast these runners are going. So let's see what they choose to do. If they choose, to drink a little bit, I think it's very smart. The race is not done yet, although it would have been good to throw the glasses in the boxes. We all remember these images in Chandolin of Kilian even stopping and going back to drop his cup into the trash. So they have been put on the ground for that specific usage. So please grab your cups, but then be mindful, be respectful, and put them in the trash as soon as you're done. If elite athletes can do it, everybody can do it. And certainly Kilian did several times in the past. So it looks like there's a bit of a gap between first and second, and then the rest of the field. So hopefully we'll get an update from our runner. Yes, and in the comments, Kilian, it was in the lead group together with Remy and other runners, but it looks like he's not yet gone through Ponchette, so we're looking at the drone images to see who's coming next. I can't quite see there.
Yeah, we can see.
It might be Kilian. Yeah, there it is. So with the cap is Rémi Bonnet, who is already in the trees. He's on his own, so hard to tell whether this is him or this is Kilian ahead. No, it's okay. Rémi is in third place, and he's catching up with the first and second runners here. So Rémi third place. He had said that he wanted to go pretty strong on the uphill, and he certainly did, because he is in third, and he is not with Kilian. Kilian is slightly back. So now we'll see on the more runnable part if Rémi is capable of coming back onto the leaders or not. He said he had worked a lot his running skills on the flatter section, and now we have the head of the race. Okay, so now I'm confused. So maybe they were another two Kenyans and then Rémi, because the race leader is not together with another runner. So try and get this right for you. If you have updates as well, let me know.
Exactly. So the first man is Marc Kangogo, who's first. Then we have 3 men behind with Rémi Bonnet and 2 other runners. But Marc Kangogo has taken the lead.
Okay, thanks Julien for the update. I was trying to figure that one out. Okay, it's a bit tricky when we go back and forth and try to see if
then
there
we
is...
have the number.
Yeah, so they are...
Yeah, number 11 is Moses Bowen. Moses Bowen, yeah, a second.
So yeah, it's a bit confusing with all this the same.
Okay, I have the
same outfits.
In Ponchette, I have in Ponchette Marc Kangogo in 48 minutes 41. Then Patrick Kipengeno just 2 seconds after him, and then there is a gap with Kiriago Ombongo Philemon in 49 and 16 seconds. Then we have fourth Bowen in 49 16 seconds. Yeah, we have a group then with Rémi Bonnet, Bowen and Kiriago, and then Kilian is sixth, and he has 1 minute behind the head of the race. So Marc Kangogo first with Patrick Kipengeno, a group of 2 at the head of the race. Then we have Kiriago, Bowen and Rémi Bonnet, and Kilian as 6th is alone for the moment.
Wow, that's incredible. Already 1 minute back. So the question is, have they gone on a rhythm that is just way too fast, and maybe they will fade away? It's hard to predict. And there we have Kilian here on the images, who, as you mentioned, was 1 minute back. So he will definitely try to pace his effort a little better, and hopefully can reel them in to have a bit of a fight. I don't know how these Kenyans can run downhill. As we can, if you're not familiar with the course, the last part is downhill, and there could be some changes there, some late-minute changes. Last year, that's exactly what happened. Lengin was in second for the longest time, but then Cesare Maestri and Robbie Simpson actually had managed to have a very strong descent to come into second and third place. So yes, on the images again, Kilian Jornet in. Can you confirm 6th place, Junia?
Exactly, Kilian 6th place, and then behind Kilian, 1 minute and 30 seconds behind Kilian, we have Petro Mamou and Robert Kremoy, and Daniel Ozans. And then at the 10th place, at the 10th place, Robbie Simpson.
Okay, so that's still a good sign, because Robbie Simpson last year was 12th coming out in Ponchette, so he's slightly more ahead. And I really like the fact that he was carrying a bandana around his neck, looking after himself, trying to not overheat, and that hopefully will pay off in the later stages of the race. He knows the course, he knows how to pace it right. Obviously, the Kenyans started extremely strong, extremely fast. The question now that remains is, will they be able to keep up that pace, that crazy pace, all the way through?
Exactly, Martin, because Congo and Kipengeno have 3 minutes ahead on Rob Simpson. So, is it a lot or not? That's a good question.
It can seem like a lot, but again, like in the later stages, if you can run fast on this kind of douche grade up hills, and then if you can really open up in this kind of flatter, slightly downhill sections, you can make a big difference. And if you start too fast, we had seen it like with Petro Mamou, who had won this race. Like, he has the potential. He's a very strong runner, but he had started a bit too fast last year with Kylian Jornet, and he blew out completely and ended up finishing 30th. So I think it's really a fine line to ride in this race, and if you get excited a bit too early, you can pay the price, a great price for it. So back in Ponchette, and with potentially the first ladies, but again, we might have missed Maude because we are now with another female runner. So unless she has passed Maude, but it would seem very unlikely since Maude was on course record time. So let's see. It is announced first woman, so maybe something has happened, and and she's passed Maude. So we'll try to get the confirmation for you all. All right, and if we go down a little bit further outside of the top 10, which could potentially change in the men's, Elouzine El Azaoui in 11th, Dominique Rolly in 12th, in 13th, Orlac in 14th, Sylvain Cachard, European mountain running champion, 15th, Cesare Maestri, 16th, Diego Vera, Anthony Felber in 17th position, 18th, Eli Hemming from the US, 19th, Francesco Pupi, and in 20th, Hannes Perkman. So that gives you a little bit more of an idea of who's chasing and who took it maybe a little bit more easy on that first climb up to Ponchette.
And we have an update of the female race in Ponchette with Esther Chezang is first, Maud Matisse second, and Philaris Kizang third.
So Esther Chezang has now therefore passed Maud Matisse. Could we assume that she is now on a course record pace, or is it Maud who's slowed down? This will be an indication that will be very interesting to check at the next checkpoint. And here we have the first man absolutely flying. I am blown away. It's insane the speed at which he's running right now. We're definitely for sub 4 minutes per K, which is insane. And there we go. Now we have Maud Matisse, and together with Philaris Kizang. They're about like 5 meters apart. So Maud is still there, but now she's been dropped a little bit by the first place runner, Esther Chezang. The Kenyans are definitely making a strong impression at the beginning of this race today.
Wow, Martin, yeah, the Kenyans are pushing very hard. Yeah, Congo is just just a few meters ahead.
And yeah, Esther Chesang is an interesting fact here. She's a 1:10:07 half marathon runner, and she's a 2:26:11 marathon runner. That's the last one she did in Barcelona. And if you know that time, at the time she had not run a 2:26, but Nienke Brinkman, who last year was kind of the surprise runner who finished second, just behind Maud Matisse. She had run as well only a few months later, a 2:26 marathon. So Esther Chesang there in the lead of the females race has kind of the same road running references as Nienke Brinkman had. So will she be able to do even better than the Netherlands runner that we discovered last year? And another question is Maud Matisse that now falling back a little bit compared to last year, because last year she was able to hold back Nienke Brinkman, and now she is running in second place. So we'll see how this plays out, but I thought it was an interesting stat to share with you all.
Exactly, and we still have the two runners ahead, Marc Kangogo and Patrick Kipengeno, at the head of the race. Petit update aussi en français pour ceux qui nous suivent. Donc dans la course masculine à Ponchette, Marc Kangogo en tête avec Patrick Kipengeno. Ensuite un petit groupe qui s'est formé avec Kiriago, Bowen et Rémi Bonnet. Et puis Kylian Jornet donc en 6e position, environ un peu plus d'une minute de la tête de la course. Suivent ensuite à plus d'une minute 30 Petro Mamou, Robert Kemoy, Daniel Ozans et Rob Simpson en 10e position à plus de 3 minutes de la tête de la course. Et puis un petit update de la course féminine à Ponchette. Donc en tête Esther Chesang et puis Maud Matisse 2e et Philarie Skizang 3e.
Oui, merci effectivement pour ce petit récap en français. On vous l'a promis, hein, il y aurait un petit peu de commentaires en français. On est aussi là pour vous. Effectivement, pour répondre à vos questions un petit peu sur le chat, Hassan Chadi participe effectivement à la course et il a partagé sur des interviews qu'il était très content de venir et de s'essayer sur une distance pareille, de faire un pas de plus vers le trail running, mais qu'à aucun moment c'était son objectif de saison, qu'il avait d'autres objectifs bien évidemment sur le marathon. Donc on va voir, hein, dès que ça va être un petit peu moins raide, s'il est capable de relancer et éventuellement de revenir sur les avant-postes ou en tout cas dans le top 10.
Ouais, il s'est fixé comme objectif, hein, peut-être de décrocher un top 10, ce serait déjà exceptionnel, Hassan Chadi.
Ah, ce serait effectivement une très très belle performance pour un non spécialiste, hein, ni de la course en montagne ni du trail running, et ça montrerait qu'effectivement un 2:09 sur marathon, ça permet de se traduire sur de grosses performances également sur des courses roulantes comme Sierre-Zinal.
And we are on Esther Chesang, who's the first woman for the moment.
Tout sourire pour Mathilde. Elle avait l'air encore en forme et pas au bout du rouleau. Elle a peut-être contrôlé sa course. On le saura dans un petit moment pour aller lui poser la question. Et le Sierrois Vincent Gig qui tire la langue, qui est mort mais qui lève le bras.
Sourire en plus au bout des lèvres. Belle performance, 1:50-45.
And there you go. Now this is the place where Kylian had made a move last year and pulled away from Petro Mamou and Rémi Bonnet. This slight downhill, he had managed to recover. Well, gather his strength. And you see this is a very interesting move. You see the Kenyans opening up the arms, relaxing their shoulders, keeping them down. This is going to be a very steep section here on the ski field. So you want to be tiptoeing, not blast those quads too early. And look at them open their arm, try to relax. And almost like they're flying down the hill, literally seeing the pace at which they are running. Oh, and again, we've got stories from behind the field. Esther Chesang, who to be able to come here and race in Sierre-Zinal to raise money for the trip and for all the expenses, she actually sold bracelets back home, and she's the wife of Matthew Kiptanui, who sadly could not make it to this race due to an issue with the embassy, because you know with these people from Kenya have to have a specific visa to come in, and sadly he could not make it through. So we have the runners here coming through Chandolin, and well, that was a miss with that sponge. So hopefully he's not going to suffer too much. And look at this again, not stopping at all. They're just putting a little bit of water over the head. I don't know if they're going to be able to pick up extra flasks or cups or any water, but I think this would be a dangerous move not to drink at this point, because you see the sun is still beating pretty hard despite the fact that they're going higher and higher in altitude. And the Swiss public, Swiss spectators are here making a lot of noise. We said that Chandolin was one of the fan zones, one of the places where all the spectators can come and cheer on the runners. And now our Swiss favorite, Rémi Bonnet, in that descent. So he's seemingly still in third place. Want to double check that. Julien, do you have updates? No, there you go. We got third and fourth here. Still in the men's race, so that's Moses Bowen, is it?
So we have
Patrick Kipchenko.
Yeah, Bowen and Kiriago, exactly. Yeah, because we have Kongogo and Kipchenko in the first two places, and then Kiriago and Bowen 3 and 4, and Rémi Bonnet 5th.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for that. So that's why there's the two of us. We kind of going back and forth. We check information with everything we've got. And here, Maud Matisse still running in second place. So it looks as though she is still holding back the third place. Kisang Filiaris. And don't think this is the race leader here.
They're the race leaders just after Chandolin. Yeah, exactly. There is Kongogo is first, and then Kipchenko. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going back and forth between the men's and the women's. There we go. As we told you now, first woman. 1:10 half marathon. That's insane reference. That's some speed in the legs here, and she's still looking pretty good. Like she's been able to shift gear and run a bit faster on the flat. And I mean it's hard to judge, but I still feel like she's moving slightly faster than Maud Matisse on this section. But it's hard to compare again when they're not neck to neck on exactly the same terrain. But for those who are not familiar with the course, this is still running uphill. And there we go, Rémi Bonnet in fifth position, going through. Yeah, exactly. Going through Chandolin. So still a very good performance here. If he's dealing with his own effort and not trying to push harder to keep up with the leaders, I think he will do an extremely well managed race. and more importantly, a very good time. So Maud Matisse here on your screen, second place in the women's race. Still moving as well, pretty strong. And I was just wondering where the third place female was located, how far back she would be. Filiari's Kisang. And then we might have Kylian Jornet now coming through Chandolin if nothing has changed. And he's with another Kenyan runner. There we go. There. And I think it's Petro Mamou who's catching up. So it looks as though either these two runners who we saw earlier together, slightly behind Kylian with Petro Mamou, have not caught up with him. Petro Mamou was maybe 10 meters behind Kylian. And the other runner, Daniel Ozans, also moving pretty strong and pretty fast through Chandolin 8 station. It looks like they're still together. It's really good. Really good performance so far from Daniel. And go ahead, Julien.
And that means that Petro Mamou and Robert Kemoy have joined Kylian, yeah.
Qui doit être particulièrement fier de sa place et nous on est particulièrement fiers du public parce qu'il y avait du bruit, il y avait une bonne ambiance, c'est bien. On va faire de même pour tous les points suivants.
And the Kenyans are still pushing hard at the head of the race.
There you go, Cesare Maestri, who just went through as well. So he's slowly starting to come back. Very good position for Cesare Maestri here. Still, I believe, short in the top 10, the back end of the top 10, or just outside. And I hope we didn't miss him. Robbie Simpson. I hope he's not pulling back slightly. Wow, yeah, the two Kenyans are still pushing extremely strong here. I don't know if the temperature will suit them better with these higher temperatures. And our camera runner, biker here, obviously, seeing the speed at which they're going. He's going onto our men's leader. Marc Kongogo, currently leading and showing absolutely no sign of fatigue so far. Look at this, he's even pushing in that little kick to keep the momentum going, and then in this little roller coaster up and down. I think I was a little bit ahead of myself. I think this is the area where Kylian last year pulled away. I was a bit ahead in my prediction. And here, Marc Kongogo from Kenya, born in 1989, and showing incredible strength here on this course. So we have, like side to side actually, men's leader, women's leader, both from Kenya, both looking incredibly smooth.
Marc Kongogo was second in Tour d'Excellence last week, so he's in a good shape, as we say.
Okay, so that's a confirmation then. Indeed, that's no surprise that he's here, and I'm sure that was potentially the. What do we got? Fred Tranchant here, Rui Ueda as well from Japan. We've got some strong runners here, and obviously Juan Carlos Carrera from Mexico, a very familiar face here in Sierre-Zinal. So all these runners have all these runners in, let's say, the back end of the top 10 and in the top 20 are runners that have been familiar with seeing them in the podium, in the top 5. But now the Kenyans have come and completely challenged the status quo this year. We'll see if they can keep up all the way through. But so far, it looks like Marc Kongogo he's on the roll. It's insane, the speed at which he's going. He's just just a machine.
He's flying, actually.
Yeah, he's barely touching the ground, and so is our female leader. And I think we'll have to look at the splits to see if Esther Chesang is actually on course record time or even potentially below, because so far Maud was at the first checkpoint on course record time, and Esther Chesang had passed her and he's now running well ahead of her.
Commentateurs, les speakers du live, les connaisseurs, et suivre de près.
There we go. We try to now see a little bit more of the runners coming through. Still the fan zone, the aid station in Chandolin. Kind of a essential point where you've started to do a little bit of downhill, and then there's a kick after Chandolin, and another downhill, and then straight up into Tinusa at 2,184 meters of elevation. So they're above 2,000 then, and potentially those who are not familiar with the altitude might feel it a little bit, but to be honest, I have my doubts whether the Kenyans are going to be bothered with that, because if they're training back home on the high plateaus, 2,000 meters is absolutely nothing for them. Then we're back with the second place woman, Maud Matisse. And then we are going back and forth in the women's race. And this is our female leader, indeed, Esther, who is coming down on that very steep section, coming into the aid station of Chandolin. So we've seen her counterparts, male, going through the aid station extremely fast, barely grabbing any water, just a sponge, and put a little bit of water on their head. Let's see how she will manage that transition, which I believe is going to be essential for the later part of the race, because this is what we can expect. Bad fall from our female leader, Esther. Hopefully she's okay. You see the very dry terrain. It is very steep, but because it's dry, the dust makes also the terrain very, very slippery. And any mistake here is you pay a great price for it. Hopefully she's okay and she didn't hurt herself. We'll see her from a different angle here. Let's see her left leg, if it's bruised or anything. Hopefully not. We'll see how she went. But see, anything can happen, and it can happen so fast in trail running. So you have to be very, very careful. And actually talking about running a technique downhill, you always want to be, especially when it's either muddy or slippery like here, you want to be on your forefoot the whole time, tiptoeing, because again, if the front of your foot slips, then you will actually end up on your heels, and so you'll have a second point of impact that will kind of save you from falling down. While if you're on your heels and your heels goes, then you lose completely your balance and then you're on the ground. So there you go, Maud Matisse now in that downhill. Hopefully that was the one and only fall we will see today. She will come into the aid station. She knows the course very well. She knows what to look for and what to pay attention to. So hopefully she'll be okay coming into the aid station in second place. Ladies and gentlemen, Chandolin.
Voilà, on l'a vu, hein, Esther Chesang, première pour l'instant de la course féminine, avec une petite avance sur Maud Matisse qui passe maintenant Chandolin. Et c'est vrai, la grande question et le grand point qu'a relevé Martin, c'est comment les Kenyans vont gérer la suite de la course, parce qu'honnêtement là ils ont imprimé un sacré rythme. Mais tant chez les hommes que chez les femmes, pour l'instant, les Kenyans ont la main mise. Les Kenyans ont la main mise sur cette course. Mais voir maintenant comment ça va réagir. And we are back on the head of the race of the men. We were just before Tinusa.
Yeah. It's quite impressive what's happened there, and I don't know if it was because of the fall or anything, but I felt like Maud was catching a little bit. She was I'm guessing about like a minute 15 behind. So let's see if Esther keeps up with her lead, while the top men are there. However, showing it. Man, that looks smooth. That is incredible. How smooth our top runner is running here. Marc Kangogo is just insane. Whoa! And that was an ankle. So again, we will have to be very, very careful. As soon as he gets technical, the one split second you're not paying attention, and this is not a technical course. Like let's call it what it is. This is a very runnable course, and so it's interesting that they can make small mistakes like this, because so far it doesn't look like it cost them much, but if it can very quickly turn things around for anyone on the course. And so here Esther is making her way through the men's field, trying to pass them. So obviously they are hopefully all respectful of the woman, and when you say on your left or on your right, you can pass safely. So let's see if Marc can keep up, but at least when he is running, he is absolutely flowing, and that pace is insane. But yeah, see again here, there's been a tiny bit of ankle turn, so the footing is not 100% sure, 100% secured, and I don't know if it's
Marc Kangogo,
if he's paying attention. Yeah. Go ahead, Julien.
Yeah, Marc Kangogo is arriving in Tinusa now, and maybe we'll see the new sprint section. I told you about the 100-meter sprint section. So yeah, we are now in Tinusa, and you have like the start of the sprint.
Okay, so
but
he's
not
looking
taking
composed.
care of it.
Yeah, I know. Well, I mean, even with pushing the pace, I think he will definitely be one of the fastest. And you see the crowds have come to cheer on the runners and to show that Switzerland is not a silent country when it comes to trail running. And he's now going down and into the aid station. He was, you can see in his hand, holding a small flask. And that's our camera runner or camera biker who's actually also getting some water, because they are working hard as well, and you don't want to see them bunk on this section either. So back with the first woman, Esther.
Martin. Martin,
Yep,
just a word about the people who are helping for this race, because there are more than we have 650 volunteers who help for the organization. So it's a big event here in the region, and we want to thank really all the volunteers for the time and the engagement.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And so yeah, just to answer your questions, yeah, they don't. I was the same. I thought the Kenyans weren't drinking, but then we had the images of Marc from the front, and he had a soft flask in his hand. So actually, he must have picked it up in Chandolin, and he's drinking slightly to stay hydrated. So it seems like they're still controlling that, and potentially there might even be gels in that soft flask. I know that was something that I was using, and many other athletes were using as well, so they don't have to open a gel and faff around and have sticky fingers. You put all in the flask, you mix them with water, and so you know that you can both drink, both hydrate, and put in calories through these flasks. So we got the second runner
and
here
coming
through the aid station. Yeah. Wow, there's a bit of a gap here. It's over a minute. And he's drinking as well. Patrick Kipengeno. Yeah, they certainly know what they're doing, and they're still leading this 49th edition of Sierre-Zinal with an incredible pace, incredible style. They make it look extremely easy, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens in the later stages of the race. And this there, still leading the race, and let's see how she can handle that climb. Sometimes it gives us an indication of the fitness, and she's not really slowing down. She looks like she's able to push through that little climb and carry on the momentum. Also very impressive. Looking at her watch, so potentially she knows the splits and she has kind of an idea of where she needs to be at. Maybe she knows the splits for the record. That's what she is going for, and I believe, honestly, that she is on course record time. Behind we have more runners. We're back in Chandolin. This aid station, we might see more female coming through. Looks like it's a bit windy here when you see the flags. There you go, Sarah Alonso. She was in a 7th position in the last checkpoint. Let's see who's around or next to her. No, we didn't see that. That's all right. And we're back with the female leader here. And last time difference we had in Chandolin was 1:44 on Maud Matisse between 1st and 2nd place. And there we go. Speaking of which, we have now on the screen 1st and 2nd place. And Maud Matisse, is she further back now than the 1:44 minute she was in Chandolin? Matisse also moving quite well through that section. And yeah, what you were saying, Julien, at the start, I think it helps to have men around these women to kind of pull them up and give them something to focus on, something to try to hold on to as well, or even pass. We see that quite a lot in this race, but at least they're not on their own, and I believe that makes a big difference. Mm-hmm. And look at these images of the Val d'Anivier.
That's the next checkpoint with the Hotel Weisshorn, a historic hotel. And here Marc Congogo is on the way to the hotel. He's still on the flat section, but then it will climb a little bit and a little uphill then just before the Hotel Weisshorn.
That's right, and this bit of a kick, this uphill section has often been an indicator, seeing where runners were in terms of their effort. And interesting move here from Marc. I was going to say he looks extremely well and he's still moving at a ridiculous pace, but he is looking back. So obviously you want to take advantage of that kind of terrain where it's long stretch, where to see where your opponents are. But these are different strategies. You want to know what's happening behind. I know other runners who are only worried about what's happening in front, and they don't want to look behind to worry about what's coming back. Obviously, Marc being first, there's no one ahead of him, but it's interesting here that he was looking back to see who was chasing him and how far back the second place runner was, because these two have raced each other actually last weekend. Whoa, you don't want to take the wrong turn here. Oh no, actually, if this is Philemon, then they did not race each other in Thionville. I thought it was Patrick Kipengeno, but I might be wrong there.
Et l'année prochaine, j'ai mon anniversaire dimanche. Donc ils vont la repousser. Si ça tombera mardi, on fera mardi, c'est ça. Merci.
yeah, we're still, as you were mentioning, Julia, on that kind of flatter section. First, it was slightly downhill, now that's flat, and then it's going to start climbing to Hotel Weisshorn, the next aid station in this race. And at this point, they would have done 71% of their time, of their racing time, and yet they will only be two-thirds of the race, not even that, at 20 kilometers exactly, out of 31 to the finish. And you can see here how a camera mountain biker trying to negotiate that very steep uphill technical and keep up with Esther on that climb. See another very steep section here. Esther is still showing very little sign of fatigue. She's still running. And I don't want to get ahead of myself here, but I feel like when the knees are dropping in on the inside, I think it's something related to the glutes. So a lot of runners, regardless of how fast they are, and obviously Esther is extremely fast because she's leading Sierre-Zinal right now, but sometimes a bit more glute muscle will help stabilize those knees and keep a better form. So I don't know if this is something that is a bit more genetic and that's proper to Esther, or if a little bit of very targeted functional strength and conditioning could improve that form and help her get even faster. Now we're on the chasing pack, the second woman here, and oh, that's a bit of a tricky section for our mountain biker. And here the view from the drones of the Hotel Weisshorn, stunning day here in Val d'Anivier. Absolutely no clouds in the sky. Switzerland at its best.
And maybe just a point about the passages in Tinusa. Marc Congogo was first with 30 seconds ahead on Kipengeno, and then Kiriago was third with about 1 minute and 50 seconds behind Congogo. Then fourth Barwan, and Kilian Jornet is fifth with a little bit less than 5 minutes behind Congogo.
Okay, interesting. So it would mean that he has dropped Robert Pengboy. But the question I have, do you know, do you have any updates on Remy? Because Remy at the time was ahead of Kilian.
Remy is with Kilian. In Tinusa, Kilian and Remy were together. Fifth and sixth in Tinusa in the same time.
Okay. So there you go. You have your updates. Oh, there we go. Yeah, the Kilian and Remy together in fifth, and they were 4 minutes 48 seconds off the lead. And here on the second place, men, as you mentioned, Patrick Kipengeno, who was the winner of Thion Dixence. I was right. I think there was a mistake on your screen earlier. So these two have raced each other last weekend, and actually Patrick Kipengeno had won Thion Dixence while Marc Congogo was second. So now it's a bit of a turnaround, but the two men know each other, they've raced each other, and that's probably why Marc was looking back to check where Patrick was, and if he was potentially going to reel him in. What a race so far. Stuff like, I mean, we knew that the Kenyans were strong, but not at this point, not at this level. We had known a Maud Matisse and a Kilian Jornet, like absolute king and queen of Sierre-Zinal, and things are changing, tables are turning. At least at this point, again, this is a long race, 31 kilometers, and a lot always happens in the later stages of the race, and we know that both Maud and Killian are experts on this terrain. They know how to pace themselves, and we also have very good contenders on this course, like Robbie Simpson, who we can expect to have a strong comeback as well. And there you go. This is the climb we were telling you about, going up to Hotel Weisshorn. This is a strong climb, and we've seen people fade big time on that climb and show signs of fatigue. So we'll see whether or not that will impact our current leaders. And something else, if you weren't with us when the first leader, Esther, the female leader, sorry, Esther, went through Chandolin, she took quite a big dip onto the ground. Hopefully she didn't hurt herself too much. She doesn't look like she's limping at all. But anything can happen, and one small mistake can reshuffle the cards big time.
And Esther Chezang is about to arrive in Tinusa, so we will have the time. I'm very curious to see in what time she runs to Tinusa.
We've got an interesting information coming again from our friends in the background, Albert Joquera, who's giving us stats. So we've got 4 Africans in the men's lead and 6 in the top 10. And the non-Africans in the top 10 are Killian and Remy, 5th and 6th. Then in 9th position, Daniel Ozans and someone we actually talked about before the live started from Spain, Andreu Blanes in 10th. He's an orienteering runner, extremely strong on very short distances. He ran track, I think 5,000 and even potentially 10,000. And he actually, this is not his first experience on the Golden Trail World Series, because he was in the Golden Trail World Series, World Championships in the Azores. And he was one of the runners chasing the sprint segments because he had so much speed in his legs. So it's good to see him currently sitting in 10th position, which is quite outstanding, knowing how stacked the field is right now.
Martin, I have the information now. Esther Chezang just passes through Tinusa with 10 minutes ahead on the record of Maud Matisse, the record from 2019.
Did I hear that right? 10 minutes ahead.
No, 2 minutes. 2 minutes ahead. Sorry, 2 minutes. Maud Matisse. Maud Matisse. No. 2 minutes ahead. 10 will be a little bit low. No.
I was like, where was the shortcut? This is impossible. However, 2 minutes already is still an incredible performance here from Esther Chezang. 2 minutes on the current woman, under the woman course record currently, and again, not showing much signs of fatigue. She went through the aid station, got a sponge with water, and kept going. Wow, what an incredible performance. We were expecting potential new course record today, and it looks like it will happen, at least in the females race. And you see here these beautiful drone images on that uphill, and it's insane. He doesn't look like he's going to slow down at all. He looks like he's riding a moped up the hill. He's going so fast. I am literally blown away. This is insane.
So that means that Esther Chezang has really a wonderful rhythm, and that Maud runs at her rhythm, and yeah, it's gonna be very interesting how the Kenyans will act in the last part of the race.
Yes, absolutely. And so I actually did not check the split between between Esther and Maud. We'll have an idea, and if she is less than 2 minutes behind, which I believe she is, then it would mean that she is also running under.
Yeah, but she's
record. No, you don't think she's
No, she's running with 2 minutes and 30 seconds behind Esther Chezang in Tinusa.
Okay, so 2:30, which
means
2:30. She's only 30 seconds she's only 30 seconds off her course record, which is still quite incredible. So an incredible run from Maud Matisse. So it looks as though now, after 1 hour, and 40 minutes of racing, she said she would be able to hold the pain away for about the first hour, and then she knew she was going to hurt, but she was prepared for it. So she's probably now feeling her Achilles, but still, I think 30 seconds of her own course record is a very good performance today, and nothing is done. Nothing is done. We're not even 20k into the race for the ladies. We're getting to 20k into the race at Hotel Weisshorn for the men's. Still, a lot can happen, and it's interesting to see. You guys were saying in the comments it will all happen in the later stages of the race. So this is going to keep things interesting all the way to the finish line.
And Martin, Philaris Kizong passes in Tinusa 1 minute behind Maud. So 3 minutes 30 seconds behind Esther Chezong and 1 minute behind Maud Matisse. We have our top three.
Top three women here in this 49th edition of Sierre-Zinal that certainly delivers as we expected. Hell of a race. And there we go. Now we transition back to the men's leader. And as far as I know, this is second place here. Patrick Kipengeno from Team Run Together. Unless something happened and he has passed our male leader. But there was a bit of a gap, so I do not think that happened. Oh, there we go. We got the third man. So this is actually most likely Philemon Kiriago. I don't know.
Yeah, Martin.
It might be the second man.
Martin, no, I have the information that Mark Kongogo has just passed the Weisshorn as the first man. So this is Kiriago as the third man, and we have Kipengeno second, which is between Kongogo and Kiriago.
Ah, okay. Thanks for the clarification. I was unsure of that situation. So he's gone through Hotel Weisshorn already. So we'll have the splits very shortly, and we'll be able to get an idea compared to the men's course record.
And yeah, in terms of course record, Makongogo passed the Weisshorn in 1 hour 41 minutes and 59 seconds. And Kilian in 2019 passed the Weisshorn at 1 hour 42 minutes and 35 seconds. So that means that Mark Kongogo is for the moment faster than the record time of Kilian in 2019.
Incredible race from the Kenyans today.
35 seconds.
It took them a few. Yeah, it took them a few years to adjust to this kind of racing, to the race strategy, like managing their effort, and obviously hydration, nutrition, and it looks like now they have understood how it works, and they're slowly taking over. However, I see here our third runner not moving as, I mean, this is extremely steep, and don't get me wrong, I am not undermining his performance, but I feel like he's looking a bit slower, and I remember seeing Kilian on these sections running slightly faster. So we'll see if potentially they're fading away, while Remy and Kilian were still sitting in 5th and 6th position in the men's.
Yeah, so Martin, Patrick Kipengeno passed as second in the Weisshorn. And yeah, he's got 2 minutes and 15 seconds behind Mark Kongogo. So Mark Kongogo first with 2 minutes and 15 seconds ahead on Patrick Kipengeno at the Weisshorn.
Wow. Okay.
And then Kiriago has third at the Weisshorn with 40 seconds behind Kipengeno. Yeah. But I think the record of Kilian will be very difficult to get for Congogo, because Kilian did a wonderful second part of the race from the Vison. He was very fast, and it will be, in my opinion, very very hard for the Kenyan to get the record today. But let's see.
Yeah. Well, it would be an interesting surprise to see how they kind of wrap up this last third of the race. Et allez, on peut refaire un petit update en français. Donc
voilà.
Devant, ce sont des Kenyans, hein, Marc Kangogo, Patrick Kipenjeno, Philemon Kiriago et Moses Bowen. Derrière, donc ça c'est 1, 2, 3, 4, en 5 et 6. Eh bien c'était... voilà, et regardez à l'écran là ce qui est en train de se passer, je trouve ça intéressant. On est toujours dans la montée au Weisshorn, et je vous disais qu'elle pouvait faire des dégâts, qu'elle pouvait commencer à montrer les faiblesses, et surtout mettre en exergue le fait que certains coureurs sont peut-être partis un peu trop vite. Et là, quand on marche à cet endroit-là, surtout à cette allure, on sent que là ça a l'air d'être difficile, on ne sait pas si c'est les crampes. Par contre, jeter les choses par terre, c'est vraiment pas top. Donc ça peut d'ailleurs être source de disqualification. Ça c'est vraiment pas quelque chose qu'on tolère. Si tout le monde faisait ça, ça laisserait les chemins dans un bien piètre état. Donc voilà, le public en tout cas qui encourage, qui aide ses coureurs à remonter. Mais là en tout cas, clairement une grosse fatigue pour notre troisième homme, Philemon Kiriago du team Run Together. Donc voilà.
Martin, alors si on fait le point un petit peu sur aussi au niveau des chronos au Weisshorn, 3 hommes sont déjà passés à l'hôtel Weisshorn. Marc Kangogo en tête en 1:41:59. Devant Patrick Kipenjeno, deuxième en 1:44:17. Et puis troisième, Kiriago, Philemon Kiriago en 1:44:57. Donc 40 secondes derrière Kipenjeno, qui lui a environ 2 minutes 15 de retard sur Marc Kangogo. Voilà pour les passages au Weisshorn.
Super. Et donc du coup aussi, tant qu'on y est, est-ce qu'on arrive à leur donner en français une petite update sur la course des femmes, parce que là il se passe quelque chose aussi d'assez incroyable.
Exactement. Alors on va venir sur la course des femmes avec le passage donc à Tinusa. La tête pour Esther Chezang en 1:37:10, suivi de Maud Matisse en 1:39:42, donc 2 minutes 30 de retard pour Maud Matisse sur la Kenyane Esther Chezang. Philaris Kizang qui suit ensuite en 1:40:45, 1 minute derrière Maud Matisse. En quatrième position, Bailey Kowalczyk en 1:45:58, donc on voit qu'il y a vraiment le trou qui est fait, hein. Derrière Kizang, il y a 5 minutes d'écart avec donc Kowalczyk quatrième. Ensuite Theresia Omosa Kwamboka également avec Bailey Kowalczyk 4e, 5e. Sarah McCormack 6e. 7e Sally Jepkosgei et 8e Rebecca Cheptegei en 1:47:08, donc exactement 10 minutes derrière Esther Chezang.
Voilà, super, merci pour ce récap. Et là il y a des noms intéressants, hein. Sarah McCormack, il y a une spécialiste de la course en montagne, la britannique, et Bailey Kowalczyk aussi, qui fait une course incroyable, hein. C'est énorme ce qu'elle est en train de faire. Elle remonte en puissance cette année, c'est très 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 fort. Bailey qui est l'américaine, qui vit dans le Colorado à Boulder, donc qui est habituée de l'altitude et qui a fait déjà une grosse performance le week-end dernier en Norvège sur la Strandafjord. Donc ça fait plaisir de la voir à ce niveau-là. Et du coup, effectivement, tu nous as donné tous les temps, mais c'est aussi important, c'est toi qui nous l'as dit tout à l'heure, que Esther Chezang, avec l'avance qu'elle a sur Maud Matisse, elle est tout simplement 2 minutes en dessous le record de la course établi en 2019 par Maud Matisse. Donc aujourd'hui, actuellement, quand on vous parle, eh bien, il semble que le record de la course féminine soit en passe d'être amélioré par Esther.
And just a point at the Hotel Weisshorn in the men's race. So behind Kangogo, Kipenjeno, Kiriago, we have Kilian Jornet as fourth with Bowen, and they have like 5 minutes. Yeah, about 5 minutes behind. So 4 minutes and 50 seconds
5 minutes back
behind Kangogo.
Yep.
Yeah, 5 minutes back.
And you
exactly.
see, and I was going to say, you see him on the screen right now, Kilian, making his push on that kind of douche grade, head down. He's giving everything he's got. and as soon as he's going to get a little bit more rolling, a little bit more downhill, Kylian is very strong at opening his stride. I think he's also eating something or drinking, kind of looking after himself. He knows that the last part of the race, you have to be pedal to metal. You need to have enough fuel to give your best, because a lot can still happen. We've seen him now move up the field, and he was at the time even behind Rémi Bonnet. He's passed Rémi Bonnet, and he's moved from 7th all the way now to 4th place. And maybe it's not over for our Catalan runner.
Actually, Rémi Bonnet is not so far. He's just about 15 seconds behind Kylian at the 6th place. And then we have Daniel Ozance also with Rémi at the 7th place. And then André Ublanes at the 8th place. And Petro Mamu 9th. And Pemoy 10. And Robbie Simpson then at the 11th place.
Okay, so and where was this splits? Was it Weisshorn?
Exactly, yeah, at the Weisshorn, yeah.
Okay. Okay, so we've seen Robert Pengboy then fade away because he was ahead of Kylian, and then he's kind of blown out. So we'll see if things change in the top 3, top 5 men. But here, Filament is still moving pretty well. Let's see how they can manage the slightly more technical terrain. And we've got the race leader on your right. With all the mountains in the background. And you see, usually Switzerland is slightly more green than that. And you can see that even here, the grass is slightly yellowish because it's been so hot. And Mark is showing no signs of fatigue. He's pushing the pace, almost not letting our camera mountain biker stay on his side. And it looks as though he has increased his lead even more. Oh yeah, and I mean, I should have guessed that with the name. Sorry, this is me being French, putting everybody from the UK and Ireland in the same bag. But my bad. Sarah McCormack is actually Irish and representing Ireland, not Team GB. So I take that back, and thanks for the clarification. I'm gonna get stoned for that. So again, we've got these amazing images from the course. It was a bit of a slow start. We had issues at the beginning, but as you can see now, we're following between first and second men, and first and the second women. We've got camera runners all throughout the course. Camera runners, camera mountain bikers. We've got drones, and finally we are able to offer you a true Gold Trail World Series experience with this live coverage. And Maud Matty is still in second, still moving extremely well. And there we go, our men's leader here, taking in a bit of water. Still looking rather comfortable. I'm actually blown away the fact that like almost his stride is very similar to what we see on the road. So okay, this course, this single track, it's pretty groomed and non-technical, but still, it looks really effortless. And especially on this slightly downhill now, you can see the pace increases even more. And yeah, it's pretty stunning to watch. Yes, a little confirmation here. When you see the runners dropping their sponges or their cups in, and I really specify within the aid station areas, it is okay because sometimes they don't have they're not as good to aim for the bins. However, anywhere outside of the aid station is definitely not accepted, not acceptable. And I'm pretty sure in race rules there are penalties, either time or even like proper disqualification.
Yeah, once again, Marc Kangogo was at the Vison, was ahead on Kilian records with 35 seconds. Will he keep this rhythm? Really beat the record? That's also a question we have.
And here you've got more runners on the drone, I believe. Is it shortly after? Is it after Hotel Weisshorn or have they passed it? This is okay. I'm a bit confused. I think this is past it.
No, it's just before the hotel.
It's just, yeah, the hotel is just around that corner.
Little uphill, exactly. Just behind the corner. Yeah.
Thanks. So now we'll have another split time from Esther, still leading the females race, and in the last checkpoint she was 2 minutes down on the 2019 female course record. So we'll see. We'll see exactly if she has gained on the course record or not, but she's looking extremely strong and still not losing much momentum here on that very hard climb up to Hotel Weisshorn. Hotel Weisshorn is 2,337 meters of elevation.
Exactly, and in 2019...
oh yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, in 2019, Maud Matisse was at the Weisshorn in exactly 2 hours and 42 seconds. So we will compare with Esther Chezong.
.242. It is quite impressive how she can still manage to run here well. We remember seeing the third place runner definitely not moving as fast as she is right now.
Voilà un petit update également en français, hein. Donc au passage au Weisshorn, Marc Kangogo menait la course avec 35 secondes d'avance sur le record de Kilian Jornet de 2019 et surtout avec 2 minutes 15 d'avance sur Patrick Kipengeno et près de 3 minutes sur Philemon Kiriago. Kilian Jornet 4e avec un peu moins de 5 minutes de retard, avec Bowen 5e et Rémi Bonnet 6e. Voilà, et du côté des femmes, on attend donc le passage maintenant au Weisshorn pour voir également si Esther Chezong est toujours dans les temps du record. Voilà, on va avoir tout de suite le chronomètre.
Et il semblerait qu'elle ait perdu un peu de temps, visiblement, si d'après ce que tu disais, en 2 heures.
En 2 heures pile et 42 secondes était passé Maud Matisse en 2019, exactement.
Ouais, donc là,
et là on a reçu le chronomètre.
Du temps, finalement.
Elle a été chronométrée en 1:59:55 au Weisshorn. Donc elle est à maintenant elle a perdu, elle est à moins d'une minute. Elle a plus que ouais, 45 secondes d'avance sur le record de Maud Matisse en 2019.
Waouh, c'est impressionnant. Alors voilà, les questions commencent à être valables de se les poser. Est-ce que du coup, ils sont partis un tout petit peu trop vite? Est-ce que du coup, elles sont... Voilà, hein, parce qu'elle là, elle était 2 minutes en dessous le record féminin, et puis d'un seul coup, là, on tombe à moins d'une minute. Est-ce que tout simplement, le Maud avait géré son effort, étant donné qu'elle connaissait le parcours de façon exemplaire, pour être au rupteur en permanence, et que là, d'un seul coup, on se rend compte que eh bien, Esther pourrait potentiellement accuser le coup désormais d'un départ un peu trop rapide.
C'est clair que Maud est expérimentée, hein, une des plus expérimentées sur cette course. Elle connaît le parcours par cœur, et je pense qu'elle ne s'est pas posé trop de questions. Elle a été à son rythme, et je pense vraiment là la course n'est pas jouée. On attend de voir Maud passer au Weisshorn, donc quel chrono. Parce que c'est bien possible que Esther Chezang ait un petit peu de peine sur la deuxième, enfin la fin de parcours. Ouais.
En tout cas, c'est bien pour nous. Ça veut dire que ça va relancer encore la course. Et c'est bon, là, on voyait à l'écran. Donc Kylian est remonté en 4e position. Rémi Bonnet, Dani Ozans, qui fait une course incroyable, superbe. André Blanes aussi, j'en parlais tout à l'heure, un orienteur de très très haut niveau. Les orienteurs, on les a vus briller hein, sur cette course. On a eu Marc Lohenstein, bien évidemment, François Gonon, Judith Wider. Et ils ont les bonnes compétences, ils ont les bonnes jambes sur ce type de parcours, parce qu'ils sont habitués finalement à courir en dehors des chemins, et donc de lever les genoux très haut. Et bah, quand on fait quasiment que de la montée, il faut lever les genoux en permanence, et ça c'est quelque chose du coup auquel ils sont habitués. Et, on nous dit d'ailleurs qu'il avait eu du mal à se remettre de son deuxième vaccin de Covid, Andréou, et que ça avait été compliqué à l'entraînement. Et visiblement, il a l'air en bonne forme aujourd'hui.
And Maud Matisse just passed the Weisshorn with 2 minutes and 20 seconds back on Esther Chezang. 2 minutes and 20 seconds back behind Esther Chezang.
Okay, donc she's also lost time on her previous course record. Interesting to see that.
Yeah, she's 1 minute and 30 seconds behind her record, yeah, her record time.
There we go. Esther going through the slightly more technical sections and still affording to pass the men's. And I think this is Sierre-Zinal, ladies and gentlemen, a runner who we are usually used to seeing on the podiums of the Gold Trail World Series. It looks like he's having a tough time because he's getting dropped by Esther like there's no tomorrow. That's insane. Different pace here on the downhill for our men's leader. Mark Kangogo is still moving at an incredible pace. You really do want to move away from the trail if you're a hiker and he's coming behind you, because that could be quite a massive impact. So you feel like, yeah, Mark Kangogo could definitely be also breaking the course record if he keeps going at this pace. And here on your screen with the white t-shirt, you see Maud Matisse power hiking through the hill. And getting cheered by all the spectators along the course. There we go, transitioning between hiking and running on that hill. And it looks like Mark is not worried at all by the slightly more technical terrain where our mountain biker is forced to slow down a little bit to go through that section. Mark is absolutely flying through it. And whether this is a true information or fake news, I do not know. But we've been relayed the information for a third party, so it is not from a direct, reliable source. But it sounds as though Kylian might have GI problems, which would then mean and explain why he is actually not where we expected him to be, and has to make some, let's call it emergency stops. So to be confirmed, obviously, I have not been on the course and seen Kylian, but that could potentially explain this. And Maud Matisse here, transitioning from the uphill to the downhill and still moving extremely fast now, shifting gear on the downhill. She's not giving up. The race is still on for the Swiss runner representing SALOMON.
And the last Kenyan winner here in Sierre-Zinal was a woman. It was Lucy Murigi, who has won 3 times here in Sierre-Zinal. So we have a long tradition with Kenyan victories here in Sierre-Zinal. And yeah, Mark Kongogo just passes through Barneza in 2 hours, 7 minutes and 18 seconds. And he's 40 seconds ahead the record time of Kylian.
30 seconds ahead of Kylian's course record. And as you mentioned, Kylian's finished extremely strong on on that year when he set the record. He did not slow down at all. And there we go. Speaking of the GOAT, the greatest of all time. So far, 9 victories here in Sierre-Zinal. And I believe that was a fake news that have been communicated on WhatsApp. Kylian looks like he's moving extremely well. Ahead, we've got our camera runner, Anna Schufer, who is trying to keep up, try to stay ahead for images that you'll later be able to see on the Gold Trade World Series Instagram channel, and for obviously the TV series. Anna Schufer is one of the strongest descenders in the business. And you see Kylian here moving extremely well over the technical, and maybe he shift 1 gear and he's right now in 4th, and he might very well be able to come back even higher in the rankings. This is exciting. The race is on, and Kylian has definitely switched 1 gear. I can see in the distance somebody running. I don't know if this is the 3rd place runner, but if it is, wow, I think there's going to be about... Whoa. As you see, Kylian's going full gas, because for him to trip on that kind of terrain, he's definitely going pedal to the metal. Still, he didn't slow down much at all, and I think if indeed this is the 3rd place runner that we can see up in the distance, then he will definitely be seeing him again, and potentially from closer, and if not, pass him altogether. Things got even more excited here, ladies and gentlemen, on this men's course. And Kylian, now sitting in 4th position, has decided to shift 1 gear, definitely. And let's remember that this last part of the course has some uphill still, but has a lot of downhill. And we know Kylian is definitely one of the strongest downhill runner in the world. And look at him navigate through that technical part, using his arms to balance himself, very flowy, like on the slack line, trying to not lose much energy and choose the most optimal trajectory to avoid having to work left and right to keep your direction, and sometimes it means not necessarily following perfectly the trail. And now we're back with the ladies. Esther Chesang in the lead still, and the last update we had was that she was now only 45 seconds. Whoop, 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 attention, watch out, ladies and gentlemen. We've got a runner coming in hot in the first. Whoa, they have to be careful. And luckily, our mountain biker is whistling at the crowd so they can move away before Mark comes through. And he's pushing our runner, our mountain biker. Definitely trying to help as much as possible so they don't get bothered by other runners. Quite incredible. So yeah.
And Martin
Public has to be careful. Yep. Julien, go ahead.
Yeah. Patrick Kipengeno just passes through Barnoza. We're a little bit less than 4 minutes back to Mark Kongogo. So there is a big gap. Now, really, the thing is to know if Mark Kongogo can get the record. That's really, I guess, the question after the end of the race.
Wow, 4 minutes. So it shows that indeed Mark Kongo has not slowed down, and he keeps an incredible pace all throughout. Doesn't show any sign of fatigue. Is still moving really strong. And behind, maybe it's falling apart a little bit. And so potentially we will see again Kilian reel them in. Let's not forget runners like Cesare Maestri or Robbie Simpson. Last we checked, they were not in the top 10, but who knows, in that later stage of the race, could make a comeback. And we got the first lady here. There we go. There's a transition here from two mountain bikers, and we're going to catch up with her. See how she can hold on.
Oh, Martin Kiriago just passed through Barnoza with 5 minutes back to Mark Kongogo, and Andreu Blanes is fourth. So he passed it. He passed Kilian just before Barnoza.
What? Can we have a confirmation from that?
Yeah, Andreu Blanes fourth with 2 hours, 12 minutes and 19 seconds, and then Kilian is about 30 seconds back to Blanes. Kilian is at the fifth position.
Wow! So this is an incredible performance from Andreu, the orienteering athlete from Spain. What an amazing performance! I hope we can get images, because if he's an orienteering runner, he will 100% be able to run extremely fast in the last downhill as well. And if he's coming so strong, it means he still has some left in the tank, and we can definitely expect him to be strong. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, at Barnoza, Andreu was just 4 seconds behind Kiriago, so maybe he can reach the podium.
100%. Like, if he's made such a comeback, I don't think he's going to stop there, and he's going to be pushing really hard to indeed reel in as many runners as possible. It looks here like that Mark is kind of in the safe zone with 4 minutes lead over second place, but then if they're only a minute apart, anything is possible, and especially after seeing Andreu come back so strong. So here we've got Kilian on the images. So Kilian, I believe, now is in 5th position. Is that correct?
Exactly. Kilian is at the 5th position, and then Petro Mamu at the 6th position, and Kilian is 5th. Yeah.
And so there you go. Our mountain biker is now going all out to pass Kilian and see who is just ahead. So we'll most likely have images of Andreu next while we're back on the men's leader. Mark, who's doing again an incredible race, has taken actually the lead almost from the very beginning, and he never let it go, and he's kept increasing his lead. Quite incredible so far. And now we're back in the women's race with Esther.
Voilà, un petit point en français du passage à Barneza des hommes. Marc Kangogo en tête, 2 heures, 7 minutes et 18 secondes. Il a une quarantaine de secondes, un peu moins d'avance sur le temps du record de Kylian Jornet en 2019. Et il a surtout 3 minutes, près de 3 minutes 50 d'avance sur Patrick Kipengeno, deuxième. Troisième, Filemon Kiriago, mais qui a seulement 4 secondes d'avance sur Andreu Blanes, qui fait un magnifique comeback. Kylian Jornet, cinquième, par contre, qui a accusé du retard, qui a près de 5 minutes 30 de retard sur la tête. Petro Mamou à la 6e place, Robert Kmemoy, 7e, Rémi Bonnet, 8e, et Daniel Ozantz, 9e.
C'est Daniel Ozantz qui a dû concéder un petit peu de terrain.
Et Robbie Simpson qui vient de passer Barneza en 10e place.
Ok, donc Robbie qui semble maintenant faire son effort. Et le voilà Andreu. Incroyable remontée du coureur espagnol. C'est magique. Et qu'est-ce que ça fait plaisir. Tu vois, on parlait de lui avant le départ, mais je savais qu'il était costaud, mais j'avais aucune idée qu'il pourrait faire non seulement une telle place, mais une telle remontada. C'est une gestion d'effort incroyable là pour l'Espagnol. Et attention, là, faut faire. Ouais, là, c'est pas eux qui vont ralentir, ça c'est sûr. Et regardez-le évoluer sur ce terrain technique. L'orienteur espagnol qui a fait beaucoup de Coupes d'Europe, de Coupes du Monde en course d'orientation, et quelqu'un qui vaut aussi des temps assez incroyables sur piste, sur 10 000 et 5 000. Donc il a bel et bien la vitesse dans les jambes, et je soupçonne, étant donné le rythme qu'on voit sur ces images, qu'il pourra peut-être même venir chercher Patrick Kipengeno sur une fin de course, si jamais il arrive à garder ce rythme, ce qui serait absolument incroyable. Et c'est tout ce qu'on lui souhaite. Ça fait des super histoires à raconter là, Andreu, qui nous a fait depuis en dehors du top 10 jusqu'à revenir maintenant là en 3e position, c'est juste.
Alors pour l'instant il est au passage à Barneza, mais là je pense qu'il a dû passer. Mais il a dû passer Kiriago, c'est possible. Et puis il a que 1 minute et 10 secondes sur Kipengeno, donc c'est vraiment possible. Il peut encore aller décrocher la deuxième place.
Ça revient fort, c'est excellent. Yes, so ladies and gentlemen, we'll switch back to English because what's happening here is quite incredible. We had on the images the 4th place runner Andreu from Spain, Andreu Blanes, who is incredibly coming back. He was outside of the top 10 and is now in 4th place and moving up at an incredible pace. And on the images now you have first and the second man. We don't know whether Andreu has already caught up with Filemon Kiriago or not, but he's definitely making an incredible comeback. And again, for an orienteering runner, I'm ready to bet money that he can run downhill extremely well as well, which means that all the way to the end he has the potential, at least from a technical perspective, to run strong and potentially even faster than other runners. And so anything can still happen here in this 49th edition of Sierre-Zinal. Right now, Kenyans are leading both the men and the women's race. But we've got massive fights behind. And again, as we're now back in English, I want also to touch base, as you were mentioning, Julien, that Robbie Simpson has now broken into the top 10.
Exactly, and maybe for our Italian followers, Francesco Pupi passed Barneza at the 13th position.
And look at him. Look at him. Not only he can run on the uphill and on the downhill, but look how strong and fast he is moving through that terrain. This is absolutely insane, and it shows that Mark has it. He has all the skills. He's even skidding. That's insane. He is skidding because, I mean, there's been so little rain that all the dust is here on the single tracks. It might even be easier or better footing to be running on the side, on the grass. But it does not seem to be bothered. Mark on go-go.
Yeah. Martin, it's essential to have in mind the record time of Kilian, which is in 2 hours, 25 minutes and 35 seconds, because it's going to be very, very tight, and we have we need to have this time in mind. 2 hours, 25 minutes and 35 seconds. That's the record time of Kilian in 2019.
Yes, indeed, and now back with the females race as the men's are now very close to wrapping up and taking the win here in this 49th edition of Sierre-Zinal. Wow, it was quite an incredible performance by Marc Kangogo. We can hear what's going on behind you. We repeat, like Julien is on the finish line, and we can hear everybody going absolutely crazy now.
I can hardly hear you, Martin. The atmosphere here is just crazy. I have all the crowd just in front of me. People are shouting. You know, it's crazy. Maybe we have a record time here, so the people are very excited, and yeah, it's gonna be very interesting to see the time of Mark. But what an atmosphere in Zinal.
Yes. So as you were saying. 2:25:35 previous course record. Right now we are at 2:22 minutes, so he has another 2:35 to make it across the finish line to break the record. And here on the images we've got the second man who was over 4 minutes back from the lead from Marc Kangogo, Patrick Kipengeno, who was the winner last weekend of Tour d'Ixence. Also very strong runner, and also seems to be quite comfortable on the downhill section. He doesn't seem to be slowing down too much, which then will make it a bit hard for our friend Andreu to... Oh, there's been a change of pace here. I hope he didn't take a fall or anything, but Mark seems to be going way slower all of a sudden. I don't know what happened here. I don't know, Julien. Do you feel the same? Like, he was moving extremely fast going into the descent, and then all of a sudden, like, I feel like he's holding back and braking.
Maybe, but the downhill there is very. Yeah, the downhill at that part is very steep. So maybe we can be a little bit confused with the screen. But you're right. Maybe he's going a little bit slower.
Yeah, because like going into the open field where where we see the grass, he was absolutely flying, and that's also quite a steep part. So you see, this is downhill, but this is nowhere near as steep as it was before, and I feel like he slowed down so much. I don't know what's happening. Something has happened, 100%.
Yeah, you're right.
Second. So is that cramps? Did he twist an ankle? I mean, he's not going to be bothered or worried for the win, because again, his 4-minute lead, I don't think he can be made up right now. However, for the record, this might be a game changer, because right now he has almost a minute to make it to the finish line, and if he's not at the road yet, then it means that he will not. He will not have enough time to make it to the finish line in a minute. I don't believe there's going to be a new course record in the men's at this point.
Exactly, he won't get it. Something has passed. Yeah, you're right. Something has happened. Don't know why, but the record, I think it will be impossible for him.
Look at Kylian, he's passing! Kylian's coming in so hard!
Wow.
Oof. And ladies and gentlemen, oh, what a terrible images to see! This was Patrick Kipengeno who took a bad fall, and I believe Kylian is now together with Petro Mamou. The two have fought each other so much on downhills. I remember a massive fight at the end of Limone Sky Race where Petro Mamou had actually won over Kylian, but Kylian right now, he means business. He is absolutely full gas. Oh, and look at him! Look at the first man! Look at... Oh, so there's not going to be a new record, that's for sure. But it looks like Mark is definitely slowing down so much. I don't know exactly what's happening. He's going to roll into the finish line. It's going to be hard. I think he's still going to go away with the win. But Kylian Jornet right now, I don't exactly know in which position he is. But he's certainly
unbelievable.
Passed.
Yeah.
Whoa, what a finish. I'm losing my words. I think I need a gel too. There we go. Coming into the finishing shoot, ladies and gentlemen, he's definitely gonna take the win on this 49th edition, Mark Kongogo, but it will not be a new course record. So we're trying to move a little bit all the other runners because plenty of them had started earlier this morning, but the elites who started this morning at 11 a.m. they're about to finish. You can hear behind my co-host Julien how the finishing line is absolutely set it on fire.
Exactly. Unbelievable atmosphere, and Mark Kongogo is coming. Exactly, Mark Kongogo is going to win this 49th edition of Sierre-Zinal. Wonderful, Mark Kongogo.
What an incredible performance here. He was for a long time under the course record, and look, he has given absolutely everything he had. We saw him really slow down at the end. Whether he was bonking or cramping, something was definitely happening in the last kilometers. And you can see now he has nothing left in the tank. It's now we're following Kylian Jornet. We don't know exactly in which position he is and if he has managed to pass Andreu or not. But there's been some massive carnage as we saw Kylian pass a runner, I believe that was maybe Philemon Curiago. I think I was wrong earlier, maybe not Patrick Kipengeno, but he passed him, and the poor Kenyan took a massive crash. And then Petro Mamou was right on Kylian's heel, but he is now nowhere to be seen. Kylian will push and give everything he has to the finish. That little bit of a kick, it's pretty hard for the legs. No, there we go. Andreu is still ahead of Kylian Jornet coming in the streets of Sierre-Zinal, and who potentially will take second place.
Exactly. He's going to be second. Unbelievable, Andreu Blanes.
What a comeback from the Spanish orienteering runner. Incredible. This is what we like to see. And we have all the other runners coming in. Oh, look at the crowds. Look at everybody coming here to cheer him on. Look at the smile on his face. What a performance today. I don't think he believed. Look at him. He is in disbelief. This is what definitely the best performance of Andreu Blanes. Look at him. Look at how stoked he is. The joy of such an accomplishment, such an incredible time, and even more so, beating some of the best runners in the business, including Kylian Jornet that you see here on the images. He's looking back. He knows that Petro Mamou can be pretty strong and sneaky on the road. So he is trying to relax, not to cramp, but he's not slowing down either. He has about 100 meters on Petro Mamou, so that should be in the bag as well. We've seen crazy finishes in these last 500 meters. I remember Anaïs Sabrier and Ruth Croft battling it so hard and passing each other all the way to the finish. Look at this, Andreu
Martin.
The most insane comeback. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, we missed Patrick Kipengeno, who finished third.
Oh, look at behind,
I've got it.
Behind.
Oh! Oh!
Yeah. Sierre-Zinal, you never want to slow down until it's done. Petro Mamou came very strong. And so indeed, thank you, Julien, for mentioning this. So we missed the second place finisher on the images, Patrick Kipengeno.
Patrick Kipengeno, exactly third, and Kilian and Petro exactly at the same time at the first place.
And so there we go. It's Philemon Kiriago who we saw take quite a big fall. And you can see here, I hope this is only dust and not blood. But he took pretty bad fall on that downhill to take 5th place. What a race. What a race in the men's field, and I think we can expect just as much in the women's field, although in the women's there's a bit of a gap, just like there was in the men's. And here we've got I think it's Robert Pengboy finishing also quite in pain. It looks like he's taken a fall as well. I think when it's muddy, people expect that it's going to be slippery, but when it's actually very dry and dusty, people get surprised a little bit by the terrain and can slip as well. And here Andreu Blanes on the images, so 3rd place. Sorry, we got that wrong because we missed the 2nd place finish. Patrick Kipengeno.
Incroyable, incroyable ce finish. Donc pour récapituler, Marc Kangogo remporte cette 49e édition de Sierre-Zinal en 2h27 et 31 secondes devant Andreu Blanes qui a réussi un finish tout simplement époustouflant qui termine en 2h29 et 19 secondes. 3e Patrick Kipengeno, 4e Petro Mamou apparemment à quelques millièmes devant Kilian Jornet, 5e au sprint, 6e Kiriago et 7e Robert Pkemoy.
Et voilà, donc effectivement, on a vu Kylian faire une remontée incroyable et regarder derrière lui sur la route pour voir où se trouvait Petro Mamou. Et il a semblé qu'il a jugé que Petro était suffisamment loin pour couper l'effort. Et Petro a sprinté jusqu'au bout et visiblement s'est emparé de la 4e place. Juste devant Kylian qui du coup finira 5e. Et là voilà, sur votre gauche, sur la gauche de votre écran, pardon, pas sur votre gauche, j'espère que l'écran est en face de vous, ce sera plus pratique. Voilà notre première femme, Esther qui est toujours en tête.
Ouais, mais par contre Esther qui n'a plus qu'1 minute d'avance sur Maud Matisse au passage à Barneza. Donc Maud Matisse, à mon avis, fournit son effort. Et Esther Chezang peut-être qui a quelques difficultés. En tout cas, ce n'est plus qu'1 minute d'écart entre les deux femmes au passage de Barneza.
Oh là là, et on sait qu'il peut se passer beaucoup de choses. Hein. 1 minute, c'est pas énorme, c'est pas hyper confortable, surtout sur une fin de parcours où que Maud connaît et qu'elle est quand même capable d'avancer relativement fort sur ces distances. Alors voilà, est-ce que c'est simplement dû au terrain? Est-ce que c'est aussi dû à la gestion de l'effort? Alors que je crois qu'on avait Dani qui en finissait au sprint. On n'a pas tout à fait eu les images.
Ce qui est sûr, Martin, c'est qu'il n'y aura pas de record féminin puisque Esther Chezang est passée avec plus d'1 minute de retard sur le record de Maud Matisse à Barneza. Donc clairement, je pense que Esther Chezang est en train de caler et Maud Matisse peut encore revenir.
Oh là là, ce serait incroyable, ce serait quel retournement de situation, c'est encore possible, mais qu'effectivement, et voilà, regardez Rémi Bonnet qui en finit aussi avec le sourire, qui rentrera dans le top 10, je pense. Il peut être content, et derrière c'est Robbie Simpson qui va en finir juste derrière lui, voilà, qui arrive aussi. Tous ces coureurs qui auront donné le meilleur d'eux-mêmes. Quelle course pour Dani Ossens. Et voilà, Robbie Simpson qui en finit avec le sourire, mais qui aura sans aucun doute tout donné. Et je te rejoins là, Julien, pour ce que tu disais. Et on va peut-être repartir sur de l'anglais. I think you're right, Julien, with what you're mentioning between Esther and Maud. Esther now is 1 minute above course record, so I think it's going to be hard for her to go and pick up and break that course record. So where I thought there was going to be a new course record, it's likely that it's not going to happen. But even more interesting is that it seems as though she only has 1 minute on Maud Matisse, and we were wondering whether that was the terrain that was kind of shortening the gap between first and second, but simply potentially because she's dropping off the course record, Esther might simply be running on fumes. She might have paced her effort a little bit too far, too much, at least in the early stages. And Maud Matisse, very familiar with the course, might be able to now manage her effort a little better and, who knows, close the gap that is now just a shy of a minute between first and second.
Exactly, and Filiaris Kizang passed at the third position in Barnusa with more than 4 minutes back to Esther Chezang.
So 4 minutes back, and so 3 minutes back on Maud. Therefore,
exactly.
It's gonna be tough. Esther still looks like she's moving well. It will be interesting to see if we have a camera biker, who can drop back a little bit and see what happens with Maud Matisse. We also, again, this is not something we wish to any of the runners, but we've seen quite a lot of falls in that last downhill. I guess the quads are shot. Everybody's going just over the limit to try to keep up with the pace or hold people back to stay in their position. And this is where you make mistakes, and this is where falls happen. So already Esther, we saw her take a fall coming into Chandolin. So again, anything can happen, and the end of this females race is going to be just as exciting as in the men's. There we go, and on your right, on the split screen, it's Anthony Felbert, Team Matrix SIDAS, who finishes his Sierre-Zinal, congratulating all the runners that he's definitely familiar with, and he's gone pretty crazy. And again,
Anthony,
even if they're outside of the top 10.
Anthony is at the 12th position, and Dominic Worley at the 11th position.
And here, Sylvain Cachard finishing therefore in 13th position, our mountain running European champion. And it looks like he gave everything he had, because he's not even making an extra step. And Francesco Pupi taking 14th. He had a lot of issues this season with injuries, and not even the normal runner injuries, but actually his elbow. He's broken it twice. And so it was hard for him to train and stay at the highest level that we know. And there we go, ladies and gentlemen, second place currently in the women's race, Maud Matisse, who is full gas, and I think he's passing. I just want to. I was hoping I would see his face just to confirm, but I think this is Cesar Costa. No. Juan Carlos Scaia. So if Maud is passing that kind of runner, either she's going extremely fast or he's having a bit of a struggle. Either way, she's right now in second place with less than a minute on first place, and she means business.
And the fourth woman in Barnosa is Teresia Omosa Kwamboka, with about more than 9 minutes back from Esther Chezong. Yeah, and Maud is pushing hard. I guess maybe she knows she has less than 1 minute back on Esther Chezong.
So do you have another split?
No, I don't have.
So Maud drinking. No, okay, Maud like drinking as much as possible, and I think she's now into the last descent. There's going to be, I think, 1 or 2 small bumps, but this is it. So hopefully no mistakes are made here, because that could cost a lot. And yeah, she's moving pretty well, actually, all the way down. Our mountain biker is forced to take the main trail and try to avoid the spectators, to try and catch up with Maud, who's now launched full gas. And we remember this is also what Mark Lowenstein had done that year. He simply took the win, and I think was one of the first. Wasn't he the first Swiss to win?
No, he wasn't. There was Tarsi Sensé in 2006, but he's the last Swiss to win this race, like in the men's race, yeah.
As we have more runners coming through across the finish line, joining you in Zinal to finish, while we have Maud Matisse here on the images. And yeah, we see in the comments like everybody is super excited about Andreu Blanes, but like we made a mistake. He came across the finish line in 3rd. It's just that we didn't have the images. But 2nd place runner was actually Patrick Kipengeno, and Andreu Blanes came in 3rd position. So again, we want to correct that. It's important that we mention it again. Not that he's taking anything away from Andreu's performance. Yeah.
Martin, no, Andreu was second. Andreu was second, but Patrick Kipengeno was 3rd, and we missed it with Petro and Kilian. But Andreu was really second, yeah.
Okay. So that was my misunderstanding. Sorry. Again. Again, so Julien is correcting me. We missed the images of Patrick Kipengeno, but what I got wrong is that he wasn't in 2nd, but he was in 3rd. So Andreu did go all the way into 2nd, and yeah, wow, incredible performance. And yes, thanks for correcting this, Julien and everyone else. So last time we heard Sarah Alonso was in 10th position. We're just trying to... yeah, we're waiting to have a little bit more data on the further back in the women's.
We have news from Bailey Kowalczyk, who was 5th in Barnosa, and Sarah McCormack, who was at the 6th position in Barnosa.
Yeah, and Xavier Senzano, if you have a problem with the speaker, you can definitely come and take my job. After so long, you know, there's always mistakes that are being made, and we'd expect a little bit more respect from the audience, but there's always going to be people who are very strong at criticizing and not very respectful. But that's okay, you know, we're all here, we all make mistakes, and if you can't tolerate that, then we invite you to try and take my place. So we're now with the first female into the last descent. And she looks like she's managing extremely well. We got runners streaming down the hill very, very quickly. She's balancing herself with her arms, trying to not fall back, because that would be... And so we have both images, and I think, Julien, can you confirm that Maud Matisse now could be potentially seeing...
yeah, she could. She's just
on the images.
Exactly. She's just behind. Yeah. Wow.
So if she can see her and if she can have the indications, we're only a few Ks away from the finish, and Maud could potentially turn this around and come and win after being second for most of the race. This is still an option, and I think she knows it because she's really going all out here. And Esther, I feel slightly slower here in the dust, but both female are extremely fast right now. And stay tuned, because that women's race is going to be quite incredible.
On va faire un dernier test d'ambiance avant d'accueillir les stars féminines d'Ukraine, les meilleurs coureurs au monde pour Sierre-Zinal, d'arriver le village. Est-ce que vous êtes chaud?
Et bravo, Lisa, 5191 qui arrive. Il s'agit de Dupont Bernadette.
Yeah, only a few kilometers away for the women's, and I'm holding my breath. Anything can happen, and it would be incredible to have a sprint finish for this 49th edition of Sierre-Zinal in the females. Maud is now so close. So close. It's... And I'm just wondering if Esther is aware that Maud is closing on her really hard, and what's going to happen if Maud actually catches up, if she's going to have another gear, and if she's going to be able to pull away from Maud again, or if that's going to be a straight pass and never to be seen again. I think Maud is full gas in her mind, and potentially now she has even caught a glimpse of Esther. Maybe the camera runners or mountain bikers have told her what was happening in the front.
Yeah, she just...
Oh, it's going to be so close.
What a finish.
And
I'm holding my breath too.
I just can't. I'm just holding to the seat. What's gonna happen? Maud is certainly going all out. It's quite insane. And so far she is. It's about another 15-20 seconds, which is quite a lot, like, to make in a cave. Both are running extremely fast. I think as soon as they hit the road, it's about 500, like just over 500 meters. So it will be a bit much to catch again. Esther is still moving pretty well, I gotta say, pretty smooth. And the road is just around the corner. And then Maud trying to give everything she has. So there's gonna be this quick bump here, bit of a climb, and then back down. There we go. We can hear behind you in the finish. 15 seconds now for Maud. Wow.
Exactly, 15
That's
seconds.
Gonna be a fight all the way to the end.
What a fight! Wow, look at this. Esther Chezang is just a few meters away from the road.
I think it's going to be tough. It's going to be just a little bit too much for Maud to close. Just a bit too much of a gap. 30.9. No, we're not at 30.9 because otherwise we'd be only 100 meters away from the finish. But we are definitely getting extremely close now. Yeah, it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be too much. We did believe all the way almost until the end that Maud was gonna be able to come and claim back the first place, take back the lead. But now Esther is on the road, and that's less than a kilometer to go. A few switchbacks, and preventing any mistake. She will take the win. But what an incredible comeback from Maud Matisse. And I still have to, like, hats off to Esther. What an incredible race. She's done really, really well. First participation, I believe.
400 meters to go.
That's right.
Wonderful atmosphere in Zinal. Look at the crowd.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Esther Chazong is about to win this 49th edition.
To celebrate the champion, 2:26 on the marathon, 1:10. We have like Rui Ueda finishing. That must have been a tough day for Rui. Freshly off a record that he established on Mount Fuji recently. And there she is, there she comes, the 2022 champion. Incredible race. Hats off to that young lady.
Incredible race. Congratulations to Esther Chazong, and Maud Matisse will follow with about 20 seconds back on Esther Chazong. Exactly.
And there she is, Maud Matisse, all smiles. She knows she's tried, she's given everything she had, and it's fair play. Today she just wasn't the best, but she's still performed extremely well. And that must have hurt, that last descent, going all out. And in the women's,
it's a Kenyan day here in Sierre-Zinal.
Yes, absolutely. Quite a turnaround compared to last year. And so then we can expect then Filiaris Kisong, another Kenyan, to come in third place. She was about 3 minutes behind Maud Matisse. I don't know if she pushed as hard as she could in that last descent, but I believe in less than 3 minutes now we will be seeing the third lady coming in. Also from Kenya, Filiaris Kisong.
At Barnusa we had Filiaris Kisong as third. Then at the fourth position, Teresia Omosa-Kwamboka. Fifth position, Bailey Kowalczyk. Sixth, Sarah McCormack. Seventh, Sally Jepkosgei. Eighth position, Lucy Morigi. Ninth position, Tabor Scholl. And at the 10th position, Nouria Ril.
Nouria Gil, very good to hear. She's back in the top 10 as well. And also like Bailey Kowalczyk. Okay, she's lost one spot, but still top 5. That would be really, really strong. And look at her. Oh yeah, you can see finishing with cramps. It's always hard, but you see the smile of Esther. Gosh, she can be happy. She can be stoked. Today was her day, and she's shown that she can score extremely well on that kind of terrain. And we can definitely expect her in the next few years to be at the forefront of the trail running scene.
elles sont pas beaucoup avant de passer la barre des 3 heures. C'est vraiment des athlètes d'exception, des performances d'exception. Fantastique. C'est que nous sommes en train de vivre aujourd'hui. Le 13 2022 après 2 éditions Covid.
So I believe our camera mountain bikers, I mean, it's going to be quite hard to go back up that hill, especially when all the runners are coming down. There we go. We're talking about him, Mark Lowenstein, finishing number 113, all smiles. He knows this crowd. He loves everyone, and everybody loves him back. What a great runner, great person. And we're saying he's Mr. Perfect. He's got a full-time job as a dentist. He's a father, he's a husband, and he's also a very strong runner. It's good to see him race and have a bit of a word with the race director. They know each other very well. And there we go. I think we have our third place female runner now in the images on the left of your screen. Filiari Kisang, who is about to finish and take third place here at this 49th edition of Sierre-Zinal. She's getting close to the road now after the tunnel. It's about a K left to go, and she's in for a treat. I can definitely hear behind you, Julien, the crowds in Zinal. Everybody is there, everybody's screaming. You have the Vuvuzela. That is a true finish line. And look at her.
Wonderful, yeah, wonderful atmosphere here. Magnifique atmosphère. Juste pour donner les temps, hein, juste pour donner les temps final, Esther Chezang a terminé en 2:52.01 et Maud Matisse en 2:52.32. 30 secondes d'écart entre les deux femmes.
1:30, non?
Ah non, 30 secondes. 2:50, ouais. 2:52.01 pour Esther Chezang et 2:52.32 pour Maud Matisse. So 30 seconds between the two women, the two first women.
Voilà, et regardez là, le sprint final, on lâche rien, c'est jusqu'au bout. Incroyable cette performance. Elle s'assure quand même que ce soit pas une autre féminine qui la double, mais non, c'est tout bon. C'est dans la poche pour la 3e place pour Filiari Kisang. Quelle performance aujourd'hui. C'est beau, effectivement, là, les Kenyans sont sur le devant de la scène. Ils ont montré qu'ils sont capables d'être les plus forts. Alors, ils nous l'ont montré il y a déjà très bien longtemps sur la route. En course en montagne, ça a été le cas aussi beaucoup. Et là, maintenant, on voit sur des courses de trail, la voilà qui finit, qui prend la 3e place, mesdames et messieurs. Filiari Kisang. Et les voilà qui se congratulaient. Excellent ces performances. Et voilà, on le rappelle, si vous venez de voir les images, là, Esther qui montrait son bracelet. Si vous avez manqué ça pendant le live, et bien effectivement c'est une histoire qui est assez émouvante, hein, finalement, parce qu'elle a réussi à venir ici et couvrir les frais de déplacement et voilà, de déplacement généralement, parce que à ce niveau-là, l'organisation fait toujours un effort pour inviter les coureurs, pour donner des dossards et puis pour les logements. En revanche, voilà, elle a dû financer quand même son déplacement, et en fait, elle a vendu ses petits bracelets pour pouvoir financer sa venue ici. Donc, on se rend compte quand même que c'est pas toujours facile pour ces Kenyans, mais en tout cas, eh bien, c'est génial qu'elle ait pu arriver jusque-là, et je pense que il ne devrait plus y avoir de problème pour elle pour financer ses déplacements, étant donné la performance qu'elle a accomplie aujourd'hui. Et je crois que je suis à l'écran.
Et pour compléter, ton histoire, Martin, pour compléter ton histoire, donc en fait son mari qui n'a pas pu se rendre avec elle en raison d'une erreur à l'ambassade. Donc Esther Chezang a voyagé seule. C'est une magnifique histoire, et donc elle remporte cette 49e édition de Sierre-Zinal avec franchement beaucoup d'émotions, et la foule ici qui s'est vraiment amassée. Il y a une magnifique ambiance. La fête va d'ailleurs se poursuivre après la course, puisqu'ici il y aura la remise des prix sous la tente et une longue soirée qui s'annonce. Donc vraiment la fête n'est pas finie, en tout cas du côté de Zinal, on va dire, on n'est qu'au début. On aura la chance ensuite de vraiment voir défiler tous ces coureurs, les top 10 notamment lors de la remise des prix. C'est toujours aussi un bon moment, avec ensuite des concerts et de la musique pour terminer en beauté cette édition.
Absolument, vous serez là jusqu'au bout, bien évidemment. En tout cas, nous, on continue d'être là, hein, aucun souci à avoir. On va couvrir le top, on a couvert le top 10 des hommes et bien évidemment, ça continue. On couvre évidemment le top 10 avec les femmes, donc on va continuer d'attendre toutes ces compétitrices que tu as listées tout à l'heure. Aujourd'hui, là, on en est au top 3 et voilà, peut-être non, je dis une bêtise, le top 10. Donc, qui est-ce que tu avais ensuite, si on commence à essayer d'anticiper un peu les prochaines féminines qui vont passer cette ligne d'arrivée?
Alors Martin, donne-moi 2 minutes et je peux te répondre. Au passage à Barneza, dans le top 10, on avait donc après Kizong, on avait Omosa en 4e position, Kovalchik en 5e, McCormack en 6e, Jeb Kosgei 7e, Lucie Mourigi 8e, Scholl 9e et Gilles en 10e place. Donc théoriquement, la prochaine, c'est Theresia Kwamboka Omosa.
Ok, alors j'essaye de me souvenir un peu de tout ça, parce que c'est vrai qu'on a,
qu'elle est quand même
certaines informations.
Elle est quand même passée avec plus de 4 minutes de retard à Barneza. Voilà, elle arrive, Theresia Kwamboka.
Et là voilà, Theresia Omosa. Superbe 4e place. Juste au-dessus des 3 heures. Je me souviens en 2020, Anaïs Sabrier était passée sous les 3 heures et c'était, je crois que c'était suffisant pour une 3e place. Donc c'était allé un tout petit peu plus vite. À ce moment-là, c'était d'ailleurs là où bien évidemment Maud Matisse avait établi un nouveau record sur l'épreuve.
C'est vrai qu'on est parti sur des chronos de record. Hein. C'était des temps de passage assez incroyables à Tinusa et encore au Weisshorn. Et finalement, la deuxième partie de course était quand même un petit peu plus compliquée. Je pense que le rythme était vraiment presque trop élevé en début de course. Avec la chaleur, évidemment, je pense que c'était pour eux difficile de tenir cette cadence jusqu'au bout. Mais vraiment, on a eu notre lot d'émotions aujourd'hui, ça c'est certain.
Ah ouais, absolument, ça a été fantastique cette course. Quel plaisir de voir ces retournements, de dire bon, on était habitué à des coureurs aux avant-postes, Maud Matisse, Kylian Jornet, et puis là on voit que les choses changent, les choses évoluent un petit peu et que ça y est, on a des teams maintenant de Kenyans qui sont là pour challenger le status quo. Et là sur les images, voilà notre ami Albert Jorquera qui nous a grandement aidé pendant toute la course à faire les commentaires sur YouTube en espagnol et nous envoyer sur les différents groupes WhatsApp. Parce qu'il faut que vous réalisiez un petit peu comment on arrive à gérer ce live. On a un écran où on voit les images de la course. On a un écran où on a la liste des coureurs. On a un écran où on a des groupes WhatsApp qui nous permettent d'avoir des retours directement du terrain. Et on essaye d'avoir aussi un écran avec justement vos commentaires sur YouTube pour essayer d'y répondre. Donc vous voyez, on essaie de jongler entre tout et on se répartit un peu toutes les informations. C'est pour ça que Julien a été le master des chiffres, des classements et des écarts. Et pendant que j'essayais de passer un peu plus de temps à échanger avec les commentaires qui se passaient sur YouTube. Voilà, c'est un peu comme
merci
ça.
Merci aussi à Mika et Floris, justement trop sur WhatsApp. Parce que pour les commentaires qui nous ont beaucoup aidés, des informations, des histoires, ça n'a pas toujours été très sérieux sur ce groupe, mais quand même c'était pratique comme information.
Voilà, effectivement, il y a toujours deux trois blagues qui sortent parce que c'est vrai que c'est une grosse équipe. On travaille tous ensemble sur quasiment toutes les épreuves du Golden Trail World Series, ainsi que sur d'autres épreuves. Donc il y a une grosse équipe pour vous offrir ce live et c'est toujours un plaisir en tout cas de le faire pour vous. De vous offrir ces images, de vous offrir ces histoires, un petit peu les histoires de behind the scenes, comme on dit, et de continuer à vous offrir ces images, en tout cas aujourd'hui, jusqu'à la 10e femme. Et là, on va avoir encore du beau monde qui arrive. Là, c'est Sarah.
Alors c'est Sarah McCormack qui termine en 5e position. Sarah McCormack at the 5th position in 3 hours and 4 minutes. So a wonderful performance from Sarah McCormack.
Voilà, Sarah juste just ahead and Bailey Kowalczyk qui ont fini avec la grimace. She's finishing, making faces, but she can be extremely proud. What a race! What an incredible performance from the American runner. And so I want to again apologize to Sarah for placing her in the UK. She is Irish, and so hopefully she doesn't kick my ass next time she sees me. And then Bailey here on the ground trying to hydrate. It was a really hot day out there, and it looks like she needed to rehydrate. You can see almost like people everywhere on the floor. That final downhill is very, very hard on the body, on the legs. You just have to keep going, keep moving. But again, amazing performance. Bailey Kowalczyk here in 6th position, right?
Exactly. Bailey Kowalczyk is at the 6th position in 3 hours, 4 minutes and 48 seconds.
Excellent, excellent. Yeah, we've got a good question actually. Thanks for the comment. What about Anaïs? It's true, we haven't seen Anaïs Sabrier the whole time, and we haven't had any update on how she did. We see Elizine El Azaoui finishing here in the men's. That was not his day, but good on him for making it to the finish line.
Yeah, Martin, Anaïs Sabrier was at the 21st position in Barneza, so yeah, just after the top 20.
And here we got a very familiar face, Lucy Wambui, who's finishing still in the top 10. We've been used to seeing her a bit higher up in the ranking. Maybe today wasn't the best day, but still making it into the top 10. Lucy Wambui, who's been with Sierre-Zinal the longest time, and always a good smile. And I remember at the press conference, who wasn't shy to say that when she was coming here, she was coming for the win, but still always very humble. So we're patiently waiting for the rest of the field, another 4 ladies to round up this top 10, and definitely excited to see who will come in next.
If we refer to Barneza, it should be Sally Jepkosgei, but let's see.
And there we go, Nuria Gil. So she's moved up again because she was 10th last time we had an update coming from Spain. And Sarah Alonso, another Spanish runner, coming in and finishing. So I believe she will be in 8th position. Oh, look at her. Sarah is always a machine and gives everything she can. And she congratulates Bailey for her performance. She knows she's done well. Look at her. She's completely broken and stopped. She needs water. She's dry as a raisin. Oh, poor Sarah.
Yeah.
But good to see her reeling in and finish very strong. Same with Nuria Gil. She's been doing really well. So congratulations.
So Gil at the 8th position and Sarah Alonso at the 9th position. Yeah, great finish from Sarah.
Yeah, so she must have been able to come back in the later stages. Again, we know Sarah is a strong finisher and especially a strong downhill runner. And that's our 10th lady.
Tabor Scholl at the 10th position in 3 hours, 8 minutes and 58 seconds. We have our woman top 10.
Wow, so there's been a lot of changes in the last kilometers. And yeah, oh, that's a sprint. That's a sprint for everyone. Eleanor Davis, I believe, and then Mathilde Sagne. No, that wasn't Eleanor Davis. My bad. That was Patricia Pineda, of course, from Team La Sportiva. She's been doing a lot of sky running as well, being very, very strong. So yeah, it's incredible how all these ladies have reeled in that last descent. They've all taken advantage of that. And there you go. You've got your top 10 for the 49th edition of the Sierre-Zinal in 2022. And this is the 4th stage of the Gold Trail World Series, 4th out of 6. The next 2 stages will be in the US. First, Pikes Peak Ascent, not the Pikes Peak Marathon, it's only going to be the half marathon, the Ascent. And then the week after will be Flagstaff Sky Peaks. So another 2 races to wrap the 6 stages of the Gold Trail World Series before the final in Madeira. Stage race, 5 days, and the top 30 male and female will be racing in what we call the elite categories and try to fight for the 300K prize money. So I'm sure after today there's going to be a lot of changes in the rankings, so we're going to have to keep an eye on that, and perhaps those Kenyans who did so well today, and they will be all of a sudden interested in doing more races. And since you need to do 3 races to be in the rankings, well, they could come to the US and try to race both Pikes Peak Ascent and Flagstaff Sky Peak to try and score as many points and run the final.
Yeah, Martin, I think I need to have a drink now. And it was a big pleasure to comment this race with you. I hope I see you next year next to me here.
Yes, as always, thank you for being there. It's been a fantastic team, just like last year. We have Julie Roux finishing from France, and I'm just stoked and in awe about like the images again we have had this year. Yes, it was a slow start and we had issues at the beginning, but then I hope everybody was really excited to see this race from so many angles, with the mountain bikes, with the runners, with the drones. It's been a pleasure for really the 2 of us to comment this race, to work with people in the background. Again, Albert Jorquera, Michael Mussard, the whole LTV Prod, Moose, the whole organization behind, and obviously the Gold Trail World Series, who's working pretty hard to put these events together. And last but not least, the organization of Sierre-Zinal. You were saying 600 volunteers. It's insane the work that it is put behind the scene to allow this event to take place. And again, I will not forget you all. Thank you all the people who watched the live, who were on the side of the trail cheering on the runners. It is a pleasure to share that with you. And again, if you weren't there, we wouldn't be doing it. So thank you, everyone. And again, we'll give you please join us next time for I'm losing my words here, but follow us next time for the last 2 stages of the Gold Trail series. Julien, I'll let you go. You can keep enjoying this incredible atmosphere on the finish line and the party tonight.
Exactly. Thanks a lot, Martin, and it was a pleasure. See you next year.